Hi, welcome back guys. This is your friend, the Nika Fanfics. Back with amazing fanfiction. This is the series of What If Deku Found Genshin Wanderer. Now before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. Raiden Yudo is an ordinary human. Sure, he may be a little rude and arrogant, Hindeer, but there's more humans just like him anyway, so he's definitely a normal human. Except for the part that he's not a human. Raiden Yudo is a divine puppet created by the former Electro Archon of Inazuma, Raiden Ei, the current Electro Archon being the Raiden Shogun. He was abandoned and manipulated, then he erased himself from history and regained his memories, now subsiding in the nation of wisdom and Dendro, Sumeru. One day, while he was studying as a Vahumana student in the library of the Academia, the House of Dina, he overheard some gossip. Did you hear? Recently, some Reverted students went out to research some kind of teleportation device in the depths of Devantaka Mountain, and they all disappeared. It's like they were never there at all. Isn't that weird and creepy? Eh? Really? Then let's definitely not go there, it sounds super dangerous. Yeah, thank Archons we're Emerta students. Disappearances at Devantaka Mountain? Those students were probably just slacking off when they realized they weren't good enough to research whatever device they had their eyes on. But maybe I'll go check it out sometime, I need some entertainment anyway. When he returned to the sanctuary of Surasthana, he saw Nahida, as expected. He purposely made footsteps to mark his arrival. Nahida turned to look at him with a smile and a small wave of greeting. Greetings, Mr. Hat Guy. How were your studies today? I've already told you to stop calling me that. It was boring as usual, no wonder humans despise going to school so much. What are you working on this time? I was overseeing what the scribe has given me to look over. I've just finished, and I was waiting for you to come back so we can take a walk together around Sumeru City. Ugh, if you insist. While they were strolling around, Nahida was making small talk. You seem like you still have something on your mind, do you want to talk about it? She asks. I overheard some gossip today, something about disappearing Reverted students. Those disappearances? I've already sent a letter to the scribe about this problem, and I am awaiting his response. Are you interested in this matter? I would like to investigate a bit, if only for some fun. I see, then. You will not be sending a bunch of disgusting humans with me to have them drool all over me and talk my mechanic ears off about interesting things, like, oh, I had a breakthrough with my studies yesterday. I don't care that you're not interested and I'm telling you all about it anyway. Or, it's the amazing Hat Guy. Please read my essay and give me tips. Also, I have an upcoming lecture about the most utterly useless aspects about my studies, will you come and say a few words? Oh, and did I mention that I'm annoying? Nahida sighs. Alright, they wouldn't be able to keep up with you anyway, so you'll go by yourself? Yes, I'm sure I just made my point. Okay, then you can go whenever. Then I'll be going tomorrow morning. Sure, if that's what you want. True to his word, he left the very next morning to Devantaka Mountain. Many monsters and machines tried to intercept him, but he cut them all down easily with his skill, Yuban Mei-gen. I just like OP Scara, okay? Once he entered the cave beside the massive ruin golem there, it wasn't long until he found what he was looking for. It was a strange device, looking like a product of Kenria or the Abyss. Yudo scouted the area around it, looking for signs of human activity. He did, in fact, find some research papers, but they only had an introduction, and nothing else. Not particularly helpful, but now I know that they have indeed been here. He was inspecting the large device itself, circling it. That was when a few fungi approached the puppet, and he turned to them. The fungi prepared to attack, but Yudo immediately destroyed the fungi with Yuban Mei-gen. But the last one was hiding, and it sent out a dendro projectile in its last stand. Yudo easily dodged it and defeated the last fungi, like the others, when he heard strange whirring sounds by the device. He turned to look at it warily, keeping a distance. Then a large portal opened, and even when he used his other skill, Hanega, Song of the Wind, he still got SCKED in. After what seemed like an eternity of falling, he finally landed on solid ground. So it really is a teleportation device. Yudo thought to himself, since he was no longer in the cave, but a garbage-filled beach. Then he started feeling dizzy. What the was all he could think of before he blacked out. By his position, it looks like he washed up on shore. After a few hours, a certain green-haired teenager and a hero came by to train. The teenager is Izuku Midoriya, an aspiring hero training to go to the most prestigious hero high school in Japan, UA. The hero is Toshinori Yagi, or the #1 hero, All Might, but in his skinny form. Midoriya got to work, cleaning the beach as All Might instructed him and gave him tips. When Midoriya got to the shore, where Yudo was however, he had screamed. It was perfectly reasonable, for someone who just saw a stranger who looked like they were washed ashore. Is something wrong, young Midoriya? All Might came running, worried and concerned. There's someone here, and I think he was washed ashore. We have to go to the hospital. Midoriya stuttered frantically. We have to work on that stutter, my boy. And of course. Let's go. The duo arrive at the hospital, All Might being in his skinny form, and they stay to hear how the stranger will be. Once they described how they found him, doctors and nurses alike immediately took him. They let Midoriya and All Might follow them, as long as they don't get in the way. Needless to say, they let out a few screams at the X-ray showing Yudo's puppet machinery inside him. It definitely wasn't a quirk, cause then that person would at least have something organic. They called the police, and they sent a hero and then a detective. The hero was there to keep them safe, in case the machine attacked anyone. There was no need for the hero, for All Might was there, but they don't know that SHHH, and the detective was there to ask questions and solve mysteries, obviously. They put the machine on a hospital bed and gave him a hospital gown, and now, Midoriya, All Might, Detective Naosama Tsukachi, and pro-hero Eraserhead were waiting beside the bed, patiently. The machine finally woke up, blinking wearily. Eraserhead shifts into a position where he can defend and attack if need be, but seemingly still passive. Midoriya and All Might sit there, bracing themselves just in case. Tsukachi also seems to be on guard. The machine looks around the people curiously, and blinks a few times. It slowly sits up cautiously, seeing how alert the humans surrounding him are. Are you, my creators? He innocently asks. The humans look taken aback, for a few reasons, but they regain their posture almost immediately. No, we are not. I am Detective Naosama Tsukachi. We have found you washed ashore on Dagoba Beach. We would like to ask you some questions. The machine nods curiously. The detective brings out a notepad and a pen. Please state your name and identity. I don't have a name, I think. But I do know that I am a mechanical being, officially a puppet. Truth. I see. Do you know where you come from? I don't know, sorry, Truth. That's no problem. It is. When were you born? I don't know, am I supposed to? Truth. No, it's fine. Not really. Will you harm us? Huh? But I don't want to hurt anyone. Truth. Okay, please stay here while I relay this information to my higher-ups. The detective stands from his seat and takes out his phone while walking out the room. The puppet and the rest of the humans that stay in the room stay awkwardly silent, none of them knowing what to say. Ahem, how are you feeling, my boy? All Might asks. I feel just fine. I think. The puppet replies. Good, if you feel any discomfort, then please do tell us, or a nurse or a doctor. Doctor? No, doctor. DOCTOR. Oh, doctor. The puppet blinked to himself in confusion. Doctor? How'd I get that? I think I just heard him wrong. He thought to himself. What's your name, mister? He asks All Might. I'm Tashinori Yagi, this is Midoriya Izuku. He gestures to Midoriya at the last bit. Hi. Is all the teen could squeak out. We're the ones who found you on the beach. All Might says. Oh, thank you for finding me. He bows while sitting. It's no problem, young man. All Might smiles. Say, what should we call you? Midoriya stutters out, making his speech barely coherent. I don't know. Raiden Yudo. I guess Raiden Yudo? Where'd I get that name from? That's a nice name. I guess Raiden kinda suits that symbol at the back of your neck, since it means thunder and lightning. Eh? Symbol? Yes, it's like an inverted Mitsudomo, and it makes it look like a symbol for electricity. Midoriya clarifies. The newly named Yudo reaches a hand up to feel around for the symbol, eventually he finds it. Oh. There really is something there. Midoriya and Yudo chat around, and at one point, Midoriya mentioned quirks. What's a quirk? It's a superpower that 80% population of humans and rarely animals manifest at a young age. Normally they manifest at around 4 years old for humans, but I'm not too sure about animals. Like Nizu, a quirked animal, is the principle of UA. His quirk is an intelligence quirk, and animals with quirks naturally have higher IQ than normal, so there's that too. Then what's your quirk, Midoriya-san? Oh. I'm kind of in the 20% that doesn't have a quirk. At this, Eraserhead glances at Midoriya, but stays silent. Oh, okay. You're not gonna look at me any different? No? I think it's perfectly normal. Is it not? Not really. No, he's right, young Midoriya. All Might pipes up. Thank you. They resume chatting, and they get to the topic of heroes. After a while, Tsukachi returns. Did I miss anything? His name is Raiden Yudo. He named himself. I see, thanks Eraser. Oh my god, it's Eraserhead, how to denotrialize, a certain green-haired teenager squeaked in the background. Said Pro Hero just nods once. We will be giving you to UA, and see how things go from there. We are hoping you will be able to blend in with modern society. I'll do my best. Wait. UA? Oh, that's right. You said that's a school that you wanted to go to, right? Yes. I really hope I'll get in, so I could see you more too. Well, young Midoriya, now you have more the reason to train harder than ever. I'll do my best. You said the same thing as me? Yuto said goodbye to Midoriya, All Might, and Tsukachi, then escorted to UA by Eraserhead, not before changing into some normal spare clothes, and bringing his vision and golden feather, since he thought it was important. They both stay silent during the car ride. Eraserhead parks his car, and they both make their way to the building itself. Yuto gapes at the massive H shape, and how clouds reflect off on the glass. They get to the principal's room, and Eraserhead stays by the door when they both enter. Yuto looks at. Am I a bear? A mouse? A dog? I don't know. But I do know that I'm the principal of UA, Nizu. Pleased to meet you, Raiden-san. Was the chipper greeting of the quirked animal. Pleased to meet you too, Nizu-san. Please, have a seat. Would you like some tea? If you won't mind. Nizu pours some tea for both of them, and Yuto watches as Nizu takes a sip, then he copies. It tastes good. Ah yes, finally, a fellow tea enjoyer. There aren't many of us anymore. Really? But it's so good. I must agree. Now, shall we get on to business? Of course. Now, your stay at UA will hopefully go smoothly without any problems, and we will give you education. On many subjects, like maths, literature, history, and so on. Cementos is already finished constructing your house. I hope the size won't bother you. It's fine. I'll accept anything. Thank you. It's no problem, the pleasure's all mine. Do we have any problems with the arrangements? Not at all. Splendid. Then do you have any questions? I do have one. Go ahead, I will happy to answer any questions you have. Do you know what this is? He holds up his vision. My, that is a peculiar ornament you have. I'm afraid I haven't seen that before. Please allow me to have a search on some files for a moment. Take your time. After a while of searching, Nizu sighs and turns back to Yuto. I apologize, none of the databases I have access to have anything on your ornament. And I doubt any other databases do, since the ones I can access are already top tier. Oh, that's okay. Thank you for searching, Nizu-san. Do you have any other questions? No, nothing comes to mind. I see, then shall we conclude this small meeting? Sure. Then have a wonderful day, Raiden-san. Aizawa, please escort our guest to his residential property. Thank you, Nizu-san. I hope you have a great day too. The homeless-looking man nods and gestures for Yuto to follow him. On the way there, they pass by the teacher's room. And out walks Pro Heroes Midnight and Present Mike. Oh? Who's this little cutie? Midnight asks, seductively. Who's this little listener? Present Mike asks at the same time. Did you not see the email that the rat sent all of us? Rat? Yuto frowns in confusion. Of course, then this is him? I think it's obvious. Well then, I'm Pro Hero Midnight, or Kayama Namiri. It's nice to meet you, dear. I'm Present Mike, or otherwise known as Yamada Hizashi. Nice to meet ya, little listener. It's nice to meet both of you too. My name is Raiden Yuto, I'll be in your care. Yuto bows politely. Both heroes stay silent for a moment, eyes slightly widened. Oh, he's so cute. And we're keeping him, right? Right? I have just been blessed. Aizawa just rolls his eyes. The email said he'll be living at UA, Namiri, and Hizashi, you're too dramatic. No, scratch that, the both of you are too dramatic. Oh, where are you two going? To the brat's new house. Brat? Yuto frowns confusedly again. What does brat mean? Then let's go together. No. But. Once he gets there I'm coming straight back to sleep. Ugh, then let us escort him, you can sleep earlier. I don't trust you two with him, you're going to corrupt him. Shota, you do care about him. Shut. Mike mimes zipping his lips. Come on, just let us come with you. Ugh, fine, just stop being so annoying. Yes. Aizawa takes the rear, letting his colleagues take control. If you ever need any help, then feel free to ask us, little listener. Okay. Thank you, Present Mike-san. Just call me Yamada or Hizashi, little listener. Then Yamada-san. That's more like it. Hey, since you're literally just moving in today, how about we take a look around the layout of your house and go shopping for furniture and clothes? Midnight suggests. Shopping? Oh, you poor thing. It's where you go to a mall and buy things. Ah, malls are like a place with lots of shops huddled together, right? Yep. We're going to have so much fun, dearie. But wait, who's paying? Mick's question made him and Midnight stop in their tracks and Aizawa almost bumping into them while Yuto stops walking when they stop. UA. Oh yeah, we're rich. I can't believe we forgot that. They resume walking, with Midnight and Present Mike laughing and Yuto laughing along awkwardly, not really sure what's so funny. Aizawa just sighs in disappointment. What's your favorite color, little listener? Maybe teal and purple. Oh, like that little glowing trinket of yours and your hair? Yes, it just feels right. Teal and purple, not a bad choice. Kind of neon, but we'll figure something out. Then when's your birthday? I don't know. January 3rd. Actually, I think it's January 3rd. Huh? Where'd that come from, little listener? I don't know, I just thought of a random date, I think. Shouldn't birthdays have meaning though? Yuto just shrugs in response. Okay then, January 3rd it is. Wait, what date is it today? It's December. December and? 3rd? Exactly 1 month away? YUTOKUN? Yeah. I didn't know. Quiet, all of you. Why are you getting so worked up in the first place? He just happened to get that date, deal with it. Sorry Shota Aizawa-san. You don't have anything to apologize for, problem child. Shota. Shut. Oh, that's right, that reminds me. Huh? What is it, Namuri? Isn't February 26th the entrance exams? And? Time really flies. Namuri, it's December. Oh yeah. Aizawa just face palms while Yuto just blinks in confusion, then when he sees what Aizawa is doing, he copies him. Aizawa looks at Yuto, huffs, and hides his face in his scarf. They arrive at the settlement, and they take a look around. The floor is made of wood, so clean that you could see the reflections of everyone there. The walls were painted a plain white, and there was at least one large and tall window on each wall that can lead outside if broken. Don't question how it was built so fast, plot and because I'm lazy. There was a bathroom, with nothing added yet, just pipes. There was a bedroom, Cementos said, and the large room outside of the bathroom and bedroom was the living room and kitchen combined. Yuto bowed deeply and expressed his gratitude, unknowingly making Cementos eager to spoil him at any chance like he unknowingly did with Midnight and Present Mike, including Aizawa, but he will never admit it. So, Aizawa returns to the teacher's room, and sleeps. Cementos goes to do other cement things and stuff, while the rest of them go shopping, as promised by Midnight. They get all the furniture that midnight. Or Mike recommended, because Yuto just said okay to everything, and they go to buy clothes. Is this one okay? Of course. I think that one's beautiful. It suits you. I cannot describe clothes at all. Just imagine whatever, basically it looks like a modern version of what he wears in game as Wanderer, but not as flashy to not stand out, again, modern. It could be like a hoodie or something They return to UA, and decorate the house. The living room has a wide TV, a comfy white couch, a few plants here and there, a wooden coffee table in front of the couch, and blue-purple rug. The bathroom is the bathroom, kinda looks like the ones in those high-quality hotels. The bedroom has a queen-sized bed, a wooden desk with all sorts of studying materials and trinkets, a wardrobe, a bookshelf, and a nightstand with some small plants. The kitchen has an expensive fridge, a marble counter, a high-quality stove and oven, and many other cooking supplies. All in all, it was beautiful. Aizawa saw the pictures they sent in the teacher's group chat, and just sighed at how much they were spoiling this kid, it's mandatory, bish, and went back to sleep. He got woken up by the notifications when he forgot to put it on silent. Midnight even got Yuto a phone, and they had fun customizing it. Raiden Yuto had acquired great living arrangements. Tomorrow, it would be the entrance exams. Needless to say, Izuku was ready. Or, well, as ready as he felt he could be. He's almost done with cleaning the trash, and when he looked in the mirror, he almost couldn't believe that he got this far already. So he went to Dagoba Beach to train, and All Might was talking with someone. Who's that? The boy thought, and jogged up to where they were. His eyes widened a fraction when he saw who it was. It's Raiden-san. What was he doing here? All Might noticed his arrival, and greeted him. Ah, young Midoriya. I'm sure you remember who this is, right? Of course. I'd never forget Raiden-san. How are you doing, by the way? I have a billion questions about UA. I'm doing great, thank you, Midoriya-san. When I heard the beach I was found at was getting cleaner and cleaner, I just had to come by and see if it's you too. And from what I've heard from Yagi-san, you're doing wonderful, too. I am. I'm really happy that I got this far. I have so many questions about UA for you, is that okay? Sure, go ahead. And he proceeded to ask so many questions at once, no one could understand what he was saying. All Might and Raiden just blinked. Young Midoriya, my boy, speak slowly and breathe between sentences. Sorry. Raiden answered all of his questions, and Izuku thanked him profusely. By the way, I have a phone now. Should we exchange numbers? Oh. Right. You're basically kinda my first friend in a long time. Oh no, for how long? Years. That's terrible. Is it because you don't? He sighed. Yeah. Then I'll be the greatest friend you'll ever have. Thank you, Raiden-san. No need for san now. Ah. Right, then you don't have to refer to me with san either. Deal. Ah, that reminds me, you do know that the entrance exams for UA is tomorrow, right? Yes, everyone's been talking about it. Personally, I think you'll get along with Togata-kun and Nijiro-chan. Who? They're my friends at UA, including Amajiki-kun, and many others. Then I hope you'll introduce me to them, if I get past the exam. You will pass the exam, Midoriya-kun. You can do it. Thank you. All Might smiles proudly at their interaction. Sorry to interrupt, but young Midoriya needs to begin his training for today. Oh, that's right. Sorry, Raiden-kun. It's okay. I understand. I have to get going anyway, so good luck and I believe in you, Midoriya-kun. See you at UA. See you. That night, Izuku plopped onto bed with a comfortable sigh and took his phone. When he told his mom that he made friends with the person he saved, she almost flooded the entire apartment. Izuku cried a bit too. He texted his new friend. Me 903. Is this Raiden-kun? Unknown 904. Yes, it's me, Midoriya-kun. Me 904. Okay, just let me save you into my contacts quickly since I forgot to earlier today. Raiden-kun 904. I was going to do the same, I forgot too. Me 905. I guess we're really similar then, huh? Raiden-kun 905. Yes, I agree. Raiden-kun 905. Maybe that's why we get along. Me 905. Random question. Me 905. What name did you save me under as? Raiden-kun 905. Just Midoriya. Me 905. Oh. Raiden-kun 905. Can I ask why? Me 905. I thought you might have saved me under a funny name. Me 905. Because I saw other people with friends do. Raiden-kun 906. Oh. Raiden-kun 906. Do you want me to? Me 906. That's up to you, Raiden-kun. Raiden-kun 906. Okay, I'm calling you Broccoli. Me 906. Is it because of my hair? Raiden-kun 906. Yes. Me 906. Then, you're gonna be? Me 906. Nico-kun. Nico-kun 906. Why Nico? Me 907. I don't know. Me 907. You just remind me of a cat. Nico-kun 907. I'm not sure if I should be offended or not. Me 907. Please don't be offended. Nico-kun 907. Okay. Me 907. I don't think that's something to just say, okay, to. Nico-kun 907. Oh. Izuku, honey. Make sure you don't stay up too late. Tomorrow's the big day. His mother called from the living room. Okay, Mom. I'm going to sleep now. Good night, Izuku. Good night, Mom. He turned back to his phone. Nico-kun 908. Gotta go, Kayama-san is pestering me to go sleep. Nico-kun 908. Good night, Broccoli. Good luck tomorrow. You can do it. Me 909. Good night and thank you. He turned his phone off and put it on his desk. Izuku leaned into the soft mattress and within minutes, he was asleep. Nahida was worried. Really worried. Stress level worried. Yuto had disappeared, like the missing Reverted students. He's been missing for months now, and even when the traveler went to look for him around the device, there was no sign of the puppet. Heck, even his own birthday had passed. Nahida didn't realize she was pacing until the traveler and Paimon returned from searching all over Teviat. It's been months, and many things happened, so let's just say they already traveled all of Teviat. Anything? Nahida asks desperately. He shook his head. You can replace it for Lumen with she and stuff if you wanna, but Ether's the one that appears the most in canon and official art, so I'm having him as the traveler. Paimon stomped her foot irritably in the air. No matter where we go, he isn't there at all. It's like he went poof. Even when we searched everywhere in Teviat. He didn't leave Teviat somehow, did he? Paimon, calm down. Nahida just sighs and massages her temples. This is really concerning now. He might have actually gone to another world. If that's the case, then we have no way to reach him, even if the probability that he is in another world is really low. I sure hope he didn't. Or else we'll be in trouble. And the traveler still hasn't regained all his powers back yet too. Nahida sighs again. If only he still had some connection with Erminsel, maybe then we could have had the small chance to communicate somehow. Did you try that yet? The traveler asks. I'm not sure it'll even work. His incarnation in this timeline is different. Maybe, but it's worth a try. Well, we don't really have any other options. Let's try it. Can you too? Sure. We'll go in too. Right, traveler? Traveler nods with a determined smile. Okay, then I'm sending you two in. It was concerning and suspicious at first when Nahida told Ether and Paimon that Yudo had disappeared, and was missing for weeks. Now he was missing for months, so they went into Erminsel and see if he still had a connection, for the tiniest chance to somehow communicate. Of course, it didn't work. Yudo's connection to Erminsel was erased long ago. At least we tried. He thought. Ugh, he still causes us trouble, even when he's not here. Paimon complains just before they left Erminsel. But then they saw an apparition of the person they were looking for there. Wait. Nahida. Don't pull us out yet. He's there. An apparition of Nahida appeared beside them. Where? Right there. And he really was. He was looking around confusedly in strange-looking clothes. They began running to him. Yudo. Where have you been? And he turned to them. Huh? Do I know you? What? Was all that he needed to say to make all of them stop advancing towards him. Huh? You don't remember us? Paimon shrieks. No, I don't, sorry. Have we met before? No. We haven't, but you know me. Now this is giving me déjà vu. Did he seriously lose his memories a second time? Oh dear, this is a predicament. It seems Nahida was more or less thinking the same thing. Here comes the déjà vu, so was Paimon. It seems you've lost your memories again, but for whatever reason is unknown. I could give them back to you, but it won't include what's happened after you regained your memories the first time. Nahida says. But before he could say anything, he flickered and disappeared. The connection was severed. Ugh. Darn it. Paimon stomped her foot midair. We just had him. Let's go back and discuss this. Yudo was in the judging room, where there were screens everywhere. He had a strange dream yesterday, but he couldn't remember what it was about anymore. He saw Midoriya for a second, before another person blocked him from view, and he vanished. He sighed, then he saw him on another screen. There. That's Midoriya-kun. He points excitedly. The one with broccoli for hair? Midnight asks. Yes. Okay, we'll keep an eye on him. The exam starts, and everyone takes a moment before rushing in. He keeps an eye on the screen with Midoriya, only occasionally glancing at the other screens. He kept watching as his friend gets no points, and near the end, he was getting worried. Then they unleashed the zero-pointer, and a girl got stuck under the rubble and would get squashed. Yudo knew the teachers would turn it off before it did, so he wasn't worried. Then Midoriya rushes in and jumps to an impossible height without a quirk, and punches it in the face so hard it got dented in. Yudo began to panic when his friend was falling and looked like he would surely die, then the girl he saved slapped him and he began to float. He breathed a sigh of relief and slumped in his seat. That was a close one, huh? Yeah, it was. But Midoriya's limbs were bent to unnatural angles, and a grotesque purple, so he broke 3 of his limbs almost all at once. What a feat. Thankfully Recovery Girl came to save the day, and he knew that his friend would be in safe and reliable hands. Now it was 12:17 p.m., and he was waiting for Midoriya to come out at the front of the school gates. Midoriya finally emerged, looking tired and solemn, but brightened up when he saw Yudo waiting for him. Midoriya-kun. Raiden-kun. How long were you waiting for me? Since the exam ended. Huh. But didn't the exam end at 11:40? Yes, I was still waiting here. You're really patient, Yudo. Anyway, I was in the room with a bunch of screens to watch everyone's performance, and I saw how you saved that girl. You're a real hero. Thanks, Raiden-kun, but I don't think I'll be able to make it into UA with 0 points. I'm sorry, I let you down. Don't be sorry, Midoriya-kun. I want to wait until you get the letter from UA, but I also want to tell you your results, but I gotta keep the surprise. Sorry, I can't tell you anything, and I can't reassure you without making whether you got in or not obvious. Thank you, Raiden-kun. Either way, you did well saving that girl, and how about we go hang out? Our first outing as friends. Oh. Sure. But I gotta ask my mom first. Okay. Do you want me to go to the side, or? I think it'll be fine. I'll call her here. Midoriya takes out his phone and calls his mom, and Yudo could hear her worried voice screaming. Through the phone, like, "Are you okay, Izuku? Who am I kidding? Of course you're not. The school told me you broke 3 of your limbs. 3. You went to the nurse, right? You're okay now, right? and including ominous water sounds, her tears from crying of worry, in the background. It took a lot of reassurance from Midoriya for her to calm down and tell her that he's going to hang out with a friend, which made her cry again and go. My baby Izuku has friends now, I'm so happy. Go ahead. Tell me all about when you get home, okay? And stuff like that. I feel something in me about their interaction, and I don't feel so happy. Maybe I'm just tired from standing here for a long time without moving, it's probably just that. Okay, she said sure. Where are we going? Not too sure, how about we just take a walk around and see if anything catches our eye? Okay. Also, I'm pretty sure you told me you were quirkless? Did you somehow suddenly manifest your quirk there and then? Right. Yes, that's what happened. Yuto frowns a bit in confusion, not sure why he was stuttering so much, but shrugs it off and smiles. That's great. But since you just got it, you'll have to train pretty hard before UA actually starts. Got it. Now let's go. Mom, I'm home. Oh, Izuku. Welcome home. How was it? It was great. I definitely want to do it again. Wonderful. You had lunch outside, right? Yep. Good, because I've prepared dinner. It's your favorite. Thanks, Mom. Now, while we eat, do tell me what you did. Okay. Izuku goes to sit down while his mother gets the dishes and sits down. Thank you for the meal. They both say. So after the UA exams, I found out that Raiden-kun was waiting for me since the end of the exams. It ends at 11:40 and he was there for almost 40 minutes. Oh, I'm so happy my Izuku has found such a loyal friend, she sobs happily. Mom, you're going to make the food all soggy. Right. Then we went around to see what might interest us, we found a cafe and we ate our lunch there. Turns out Raiden-kun likes bitter things, mostly tea, and dislikes sweets. I see, I'll note that down if he ever comes over. He said he liked the tea they served there, and those sandwiches were delicious, and it was pretty close to UA too, so we could probably go there sometime after school, if I get accepted. Oh, don't worry, Izuku. If the school doesn't let you in even after you saved someone, then UA isn't competent. Thanks, Mom. Did anything else happen? Not really, we just took a walk and chatted about heroes. Raiden-kun's a very good listener. And when we went to a park to sit down and chat more, there was a lost child. Oh dear. So of course we had to help him, and Raiden-kun's very good with children too. Eventually we found his parents and the issue was solved. Oh, that's great. My baby Izuku is a hero. And then it was getting late, so we both went home, and nothing else happened. But it felt so great to go out and have fun with a friend. I'm so proud. Mom. And then they both flooded the apartment with their tears. Yuto sneezed. You good, little listener? Mike asked worriedly. Yeah, I'm good. I just breathed in some dust. Good, if you caught a cold out there while you were with your friend? Puppets can't get sick, don't worry. Yeah, but what if you get a computer virus? I'm a puppet, not a computer, Yamada-san. You heard the kid. He's fine. Not you too, Shota. The little listener might actually get sick. Shut up. Thank you, Aizawa-san. It's fine, problem child. Shota. I said shut up. Then Yuto's phone got a notification. He picked it up to see who was messaging him, and it was Midoriya. Broccoli 648. Hey. Me 649. What is it, Broccoli? Broccoli 649. That joke's getting old already. Broccoli 649. But I was wondering if you were busy these few weeks. Broccoli 649. You know, before UA starts. Broccoli 649. I want to hang out again. Broccoli 649. It was fun. Me 649. Oh. Me 649. Sorry, I'm kinda busy. Me 649. I have to record the acceptance letters. Broccoli 650. Oh, okay. Broccoli 650. Wait, record. Me 650. Oh right, that was supposed to be a surprise. Me 650. Just pretend you didn't read that. Me 650. But I'll be pretty busy. Me 650. I'll tell you when I'm not though. Me 650. Then we can go hang out. Broccoli 650. Okay. Broccoli 650. Then I'll see you around. Broccoli 651. It's a little early but good night. Me 651. It's okay. Me 651. Good night. Were you talking with Midoriya? Yes, he just asked me if we could hang out again. But since I have to record some of the letters, then we can make the ones you're recording top priority. Thank you, Yamada-san. Listener, we've known each other for months now. Call me Hizashi. But Yamada-san. Little listener. This is the 5th time today. Heiza. Yamada-san. Okay, we'll work on that. What's going on here? Midnight walks in. I've been trying to get the little listener to call me Hizashi. But he keeps calling me Yamada-san. Oh? Then how about you try calling me Namuri, Yudo-chan? Ah? It's okay, try. Nimue. Nem. Kayama-san. That was worse than mine. Hizashi. I'm shutting up now. Problem child, try calling me Shota. You too? Shota-san. How? Hee hee. It was a prank. Hizashi-san, Namuri-san. Little listener Yudo-chan. How could you? That's a months-long prank. You idiots corrupted him. You reap what you sow. Shota. You were in on this? Duh. Now shut up and let me sleep. It's 6. So? I'll prepare the coffee for patrol. Thanks, problem child. Mike gasps indignantly. You never say, thanks, to me. No fair. It's 'cause the problem child is less problematic than you two. Now just let me sleep or else I won't be able to focus on my patrol today. Ugh, boys. Wait, why are all of you in my house? Snore. Shota, did you just say, snore, out loud? What the? F# hashtag? What's F# hashtag? Namuri. I'm sorry. Huh? It's been a day since they made contact with Yudo, but it seems he lost his memories again. Nahida theorized that the teleportation device that Yudo and the missing Haravitat students investigated was also a device that could wipe memories, thus unused by whoever created the device. So Ether was going to get his powers back and hopefully find Yudo in some other world he was most likely in. Traveler. Nahida says there's a connection again. What? Then let's go. I'm here again, this tree, Yudo mumbled to himself. Then he heard footsteps. Yudo. You're here again. That squeaky voice said. He turned to them and saw the 3 people in the last dream. The one who just spoke was a pixie of sorts, she was flying. Last time I was here. You saw us, didn't you? The smaller, also white hair, child said, but she was bigger than the pixie thing and not flying. Yes. Well, it seems that. Yudo wakes up to see the ceiling of his bedroom. He blinked a few times. He then sits up and ponders over the strange dream he had. It was just a dream. It's normal to have recurring dreams. He got out of bed to drink some water. It was still early, 2:24 a.m., his clock told him. He wasn't really thirsty, puppets don't get hungry or thirsty, and they don't need to consume food or water. But he decided to get some water anyway. Today, he will record his share of the acceptance letters. Unfortunately, he didn't get to do Midoriya's. The hero course students have All Might to announce it in their letters instead. Yudo, however, is doing general education. Most of them wanted to get into the hero course, but 36 students was only so much. One student, Shinso Hitoshi, he remembered, reminded him a lot about Shota. Maybe it was the tired eye bags, the posture, or literally anything else. Either way, it's his first time, so he will do his best. He got his water, and went back to sleep, the dream completely forgotten. It's time to record the videos. He had lots of fun doing it, despite all the complex things he needed to say, but it was still fun. He wasn't even nearly done, since he also had to do a share of the rejection letters. But after that, he was free to hang out with Midoriya. He waved to Namuri. I'm going to out for a walk. Don't stay out too late. I won't. He left UA to go to that cafe he liked, the tea they served were celestial, and he was fully intending on being a regular customer. He ordered the tea, and some sandwiches for Namuri, Hizashi, Shota, and all the teachers at UA. So when he placed his humongous order, he got a few strange looks from the cashier. He got his order, thanked the cashier, and left with a sweet smile, a wave, and "have a great day," which instantly made the cashier's heart melt. Sueto Gakari is a normal guy with an emitter quirk. All it did was shoot harmless, normal bubbles from his fingers, like a bubble gun, nothing special. It was great for playing with his kids though. But he was just a cashier at a cafe close to his apartment, then this teenager walks in, ordering the bitterest tea they had, and a bunch of sandwiches. It was strange, but he complied, then the kid just bows and thanks him, then beams and wishes him a great day. If he sees that kid getting hurt by someone or anything, he will somehow conjure magic death bubbles. Yudo finally finished recording. It took a week, but it was worth it. He felt sad for the ones who got rejected though, but he gave them some encouragements and advice to hopefully make them feel better. But he again unknowingly made them love him. Alright kiddo, you can go and hang out with Midoriya now. If I remember correctly, we already sent him the letter, so you can go over. Okay, thank you, Power Loader-san. It's my Jima for you, kiddo. Ah, right, I keep forgetting. Sorry, my Jima-san. You don't have to apologize, now go off and have some fun. Okay. See you Majima-san. See you kiddo. Yuto waved goodbye as he walked out, stood around at the gates, opened his phone, and called Midoriya. He picked up after 3 rings. Hey Midoriya-kun. Oh, Raiden-kun. Are you finished with whatever you were busy with? Yes, that's a reason why I called you. There's more reasons? Yes, since I was told that we sent out the hero course letters. Really? And just at that moment, what sounded like Midoriya's mother was calling him. The letter just arrived, oh my god. Right on schedule. Can I come over? Oh, right. I'll just tell my mom. And Yuto heard some quiet dialogue far from Midoriya's phone, something suspiciously sounding like, my baby Izuku has such a great friend, and crying sounds. She said sure. I'll text you the address. Okay. Sorry for making you wait to open your letter, I know you're probably dying to know your results. It's alright, really. You were waiting so long for me on the exam day, so I'm repaying you. Then I'll be there in a jiffy. True to his word, Yuto arrived in minutes. That's quick. Hey. Yuto greeted Midoriya's mother with a deep bow, and he went into Midoriya's room to open it with said teen. Midoriya sat down on the chair of his desk while Yuto stood behind him, peering at the letter. Midoriya gulped and ripped it open, startling him when a small black disc plopped onto the desk. Then it began projecting something, which startled Midoriya further. But when a familiar face was right in the face of the camera, it startled both of them. All Might? Ah, I knew it was All Might who was doing the hero course, but this was unexpected. Ha! I thought this was from UA. Raiden-kun, you knew? Ha! It's been a while. There's been much to deliberate on. Ahem. Apologies. I'm in town for one reason only. I've come to teach at UA. There was an off-screen voice, it was quiet, and they couldn't really hear it. Well, Yuto did, puppets have great hearing. What's that you say? Get to the point. Whatever I want to say to him, can be said later? Ah, fine. Got it, even if you pass the written portion, getting 0 points on the practical naturally results in failure. And Midoriya just slumped in his seat, looking down to his lap, depressed. Yuto pat him on the shoulder with a knowing and bright smile. But that's not the end of the story. Midoriya looked back up hopefully. Let me entertain you. Please watch the screen. A board behind All Might started playing a video, and the girl that Midoriya saved walked into a room. Excuse me, but, that nice girl? She came to see us right after the test. Why, you ask? Stay tuned. That curly-haired boy, with freckles, you know the one? He's, really plain looking. Can you give him some of the points I earned? At the end, he was saying, just 1 point. I heard him. That means he didn't get any points, right? At least however many points he gave up trying to save me. You've acquired your quirk. And you've moved others with your actions. That boy, he saved my life. This exam, you see. We weren't just watching for villain-based points. I'm afraid we can't give him your points, but there shouldn't be a need for it, my little listener. It's Hisashi-san. Present Mike? A hero course that rejects those who do the right thing, is no hero course at all. Think this is all for the cameras? Think what you want. In this job, you risk your life and put your money where your mouth is. Rescue points were also a factor here. Another fundamental way for UA to evaluate you. 60 points for Midoriya Izuku. And while we're at it, 45 for Uraraka Ochako. I never thought. Midoriya looked like he was on the brink of tears. Yuto looks concerned at this. You're in. Come now, Midoriya. This will be your hero academy. Midoriya rubs his eyes. Yay! He shouted. Congratulations, Midoriya-kun. I'm so proud of you. I knew how the results would be right after the exam. You never let me down. Thank you so much, Raiden-kun. Midoriya scrambled up to open the door, where his mother was fidgeting. Mom. Izuku. Mom, I got in. Oh, I'm so proud of you, Izuku. And then the Midoriyas cried and flooded the apartment. Good thing puppets don't need to breathe. Or just oxygen in general. But he does it sometimes to keep his insides from overheating. It was the day. UA has started. Yuto waited for Midoriya at the gates, getting strange looks from the first years. What was a guy without a uniform doing, waiting here? They all thought. Midoriya arrived, and they exchanged greetings. Remember Eraserhead? From when you found me? Oh. Of course. He's your homeroom teacher. What? MHM. I'll show you the way. I can even stay with your class as long as I don't get in the way. Wow, then please do stay. Of course I will. Yuto guided his friend to Class 1A, and Midoriya opened the door hesitantly. Remove your foot from that desk. Such an action is insulting to those who came to UA before us as well as the craftsman who made the desk. A stiff guy with glasses said. Like I care. What middle school are you from, you extra? A spiky Pomeranian of a guy said. I am from semi-private academy. My name is Ida Tenya. Semi? A stuck-up elitist, then? I should blow you to bits. Blow me to bits? You're awful. Do you really wish to become a hero? Then Ida noticed their presence and arrival, and walked towards Midoriya. Yuto was standing beside Midoriya. I'm from semi-private academy. I heard you before. Ah. I'm Midoriya Izuku. Pleased to meet you, Ida-kun. Midoriya-kun, you perceived the true nature of that practical exam. While I did not, I misjudged you. I hate to admit it, but you were the superior candidate. But Ida-san, Midoriya-kun didn't save Uraraka-san for points. Yuto piped up. Ah? Is that so? Then I apologize once again. Now everyone was looking at them, and Midoriya fidgeted nervously under their gaze. Ah, that curly hair. Midoriya jolted at the sudden appearance of Uraraka. The plain-looking boy. You got in. Just like Present Mike said. Makes sense though. That punch was awesome. She made swinging motions with her arm, imitating the punch. No. I mean. I have to thank you for speaking on my behalf. Well. Huh? How do you know about that? Uraraka was getting into Midoriya's personal space, and he became more and more flustered and his face was getting redder and redder. So we've got our entrance ceremony and guidance sessions today, yeah? Wonder what our teacher'll be like. Boy, I'm nervous. If you're here to socialize, then get out. A new voice spoke up. Good morning, Shota-san. Morning, problem child. Then the class all looked to the homeless-looking man on the ground, in a yellow sleeping bag. Then he pulled out a yogurt thingy. This is the hero course. He proceeded to down all of the contents at once. The entire class was silent. It took 8 seconds for you to quiet down. Time is a precious resource. You lot aren't very rational, are you? It's Eraserhead, Yuto heard Midoriya mutter to himself. I'm your homeroom teacher, Aizawa Shota. Pleased to meet you. He pulled out something from his sleeping bag. Quickly now. Change into your gym clothes and head out to the grounds. Then he left the classroom. Everyone was shocked into silence. Oh, I can lead you to the changing rooms, Midoriya-kun. They already have lockers with your names on them, and there will be the gym uniforms according to your size. Everyone else looked at Yuto, curious. But they followed him and Midoriya. When they got there, Yuto turned to the girls. The girls' changing room is over there, not too far from the boys. He points. It should be more or less the same thing, I think. That's what my friends Nijire-chan and Yuyu-chan said anyway. He turned back to Midoriya. Yuyu is Nijire's best pal. It said in the manga. I'll wait for you here. He beamed to him. Thank you, Raiden-kun. Midoriya, was it? Huh? He turned his head to his classmates. The one who spoke had spiky red hair. I'm Kirishima Ejiro, can I ask you something? Oh, sure, he stuttered. Who was that guy? Raiden, you said? Oh. He's it's kind of hard to explain, but he basically lives at UA, and we became friends when we met each other when I was cleaning Dagoba Beach. Huh. So you were the one who did it? Nice dude. No wonder you're stacked. Another classmate, with yellow hair said. I agree. That's super manly. Kirishima agreed. Yes. Back to our topic? Oh. Right, Raiden-kun, his full name is Raiden Yuto. Raiden Yuto, hey, that has a nice ring to it. I think so too. He's the nicest person I've ever met, and he's so considerate. Oh hey, what's his quirk? I can't tell them that he's a puppet, not a human, so he doesn't have a quirk. If I say he's quirkless, will they be mean to him like Kaken? Oh no, I hope not. Oh, you don't know his quirk? That's not it, he stutters. Then, what is it, bro? I noticed he has good hearing and eyesight since he's a puppet, so, slightly enhanced senses, and it comes with a little symbol at the back of his neck. Oh, cool. But was it really that hard to say that though? Not to be rude or anything, bro. It's fine, I'm just not very good at talking without stuttering. Oh, then I totally get it dude, sorry I asked. I already said it's okay, Kirishima-kun. Just from this interaction alone, I can tell you're the kind and shy guy. I'm Kaminari Denki, let's be friends, bro. Hey, let's be friends too. I think you're super manly. Manly bros gotta stick together, right? You'll really be my friends? Yeah dude. Who wouldn't? Then he proceeded to flood the changing room, and when that matter was taken care of, Izuku apologized profusely and was glad they had drains in the changing rooms, for whatever reason, while Kaken was muttering something suspiciously like, stupid Deku, crying all the time. When they finish changing, they and the girls just so manage to finish at the same time. I'll lead you guys to where Shota-san is now. Raiden beams. So the entire class followed him to where Eraserhead was. When they got there, Raiden ran over to where Aizawa was and stood beside him, smiling brightly. It's a contrast of the innocent and kind Raiden with the tired and monotone Aizawa. Then when Aizawa told them what they were going to be doing. A test of our quirks. The class exclaimed. What about the entrance ceremony? Or guidance sessions? Uraraka asked. No time to waste on that stuff if you want to become heroes. Aizawa replies. Huh. UA is known for its freestyle educational system. That applies to us teachers as well. The entire class seems to collectively sweat drop. Softball throwing. The standing long jump. The 50-meter dash. Endurance running. Grip strength. Side-to-side stepping. Upper body training. Seated toe touch. He listed, you all did these in middle school, yes? Your standard no quirks allowed gym tests. This country still insists on prohibiting quirks when calculating the averages of those records. It's not rational. The Department of Education is just procrastinating. He looks over the entire class, looking each and every one of them in the eye, before finally stopping on Izuku. Before we do start, however, I want to talk with you, Midoriya. Problem child, he addresses Raiden, you're in charge until I come back. Got it. And don't be too harsh on Midoriya-kun, okay? Sure. Aizawa gestures to Izuku to follow him, and Izuku hears Raiden telling the class to warm up, doing stretches and whatnot. Shota stopped a few feet away from the cluster of people that is his problematic class. He could tell they'll be problematic already. He could see them copying Problem Child, doing stretches. He must have told them to warm up or something. Midoriya, I just wanted to confirm with you about something. Is it about my quirk? The kid stutters. Yes, perceptive, his conversation about heroes with Problem Child was detailed, and he mentioned notes. He'll make a good analyst. Care to explain? He raises an eyebrow. My quirk just, manifested really late. I thought I was quirkless all my life until. Shota nods, understanding. Okay, since you only just received your quirk a few weeks ago, I'll let it slide to the fact you didn't train a lot with it. You did train with your quirk sometime before UA started, did you? I didn't. I was afraid of breaking my bones again. Fair point. Then from the conversation you've had with Problem Child, you've been wanting to be a hero for a long time, now, right? Yes. Being hero has been my dream since forever. Then you probably mastered some martial arts to make up for your quirklessness, when you didn't think you'd get a quirk, right? No. He sighed. I'll teach you some, if you want, but you'll have to stay after school. Talk about it with your parents or guardians after school today, and we'll see how they say. Is that clear? Yes, sensei. Good. Then he gestures to Midoriya to follow him again, and goes back to the class to begin the quirk apprehension test. Shota came back with Midoriya, and Shota called to the explosion boy. Bakugo. How far could you throw in middle school? So Bakugo is his name. 67 meters. Bakugo replies. Great. Now try it with your quirk. Do whatever you need to. Just don't leave the circle. Give it all you've got. Awesome, Yudo hears him remark. Die! He shouts, and the ball was launched with a FABOOM. Yudo also heard some of the class being confused and or concerned with his choice of word. The device Shota was holding beeped 2 times, and he turned it to the class. It displayed 705.2 m. It's important for us to know our limits. That's the first rational step to figuring out what kind of heroes you'll be. Whoa! This is awesome! 705 meters? Seriously? So we can use our quirks for real. Man, the hero course is great, the class said. He notices Midoriya looking nervous. Awesome, you say? You're to become heroes after 3 years here, and you think it'll be all fun and games? He looms over the class menacingly, right? The one with the lowest score across all 8 events will be judged hopeless, and will be expelled. Wah! The class all gasps at once. Your fates are in our hands. Welcome. This is the hero course at UA High. The lowest scorer will be expelled. The class muttered to themselves. It's only the first day. I mean, even if it weren't, that's totally unfair. Uraraka protests. Natural disasters, highway pileups, rampaging villains. Calamity is always right around the corner. I'd say Japan is full of unfair things. Aizawa says tiredly. Heroes are the ones who correct all that unfairness. If you were hoping to spend your evenings hanging out at McDonald's, I'm sorry to tell you that for the next 3 years, UA will run you through the ringer. That's plus ultra. Use your strength to overcome it all. So bring it. Now, the class looks determined. The demonstration is over. Now it's for real. He finishes. The first event, 50-meter dash, Ida got 3.04 seconds, while the other girl that went with him, a frog-looking girl, got 5.58 seconds. Next, Uraraka and Tailed Guy were up. Uraraka got 7.15 seconds. Then, it was a French-accented guy with sparkling blonde hair. Hee, so unimaginative. All of you. He remarks, if we can use our quirks. He shoots off with a laser of light, facing backwards. But then he tumbles down and his pink partner runs past him, then he fires it off again. The guy gets 5.51 seconds. If I'd fired an instant earlier, my stomach would have exploded. He says with a calm and flamboyant smile. When Izuku was up, he went with Kaken, and he unfortunately got the brunt of the explosions the boy fired off. Kaken got 4.13 seconds, and Izuku got 7.02 seconds. Everyone else goes, and the second event, grip strength is up. Izuku thinks about using one for all, but decides against it, and he gets 56 kilograms. An octopus arm-like guy gets 540 kilograms, and some classmates gather around him. The events go by, with many students outshining Izuku, and he gets more and more nervous. The fifth event, throwing. Uraraka gets infinity, and the device Aizawa uses even shows the symbol. Infinity? Wow! The infinity symbol actually popped up. The class exclaims. It was Izuku's turn, and he hears some people talking. Midoriya isn't doing very well, Ida remarks. Well duh. He's a quirkless runt. Quirkless? So you haven't heard about his feats during the entrance exam? Huh? Izuku mutters to himself about how he should use his quirk. Midoriya, your quirk, it's like a glass cannon. Try to limit how much of it you use and train with it more. At least with minimal injury that lets you keep going. But I will not tolerate it any more than 3 times in a day. I'm letting this slip since you're new to it, but next time, I will erase your quirk if it looks like you're going to hurt yourself. You're a smart kid, I'm sure you can figure out the reason why. Aizawa tells him sternly. Izuku nods in understanding. Seems like he received some special instruction. Ida says. Yeah. The instruction to leave this school. Izuku, making a choice, swings his arm back, stoops his head low and yeets the ball, letting go at the right time, releasing it, and it shoots off. Sensei? I can still keep going. This kid. Aizawa breaks into a small unreadable smile. Woo! Now that's a hero-like record if I ever saw one. Uraraka cheers. Yes. I agree. But Midoriya-kun will have to see Chiyo-san, hopefully no one else hurts themselves or someone today. Yudo says, nodding, as he stands beside Uraraka. His finger appears to be swollen. Thinking back to the entrance exam, what a strange quirk, Ida says. Stylishly done. The naval laser kid says, sparkling. While Bakugo seems speechless and surprised, he shoots off with his quirk angrily. What the hell? Explain yourself, Deku. He shouts. Wah! Yudo rushes forward in worry for his friend. Then suddenly, Bakugo is restrained by a gray bandage-like thing. What this cloth, it's stiff. Bakugo grinds out. Yudo lets out a sigh of relief. It's a capture weapon made of carbon fibers and a special alloy wire. Geez, stop using your quirk already. Shota says, I'm getting dry-eye over here. His hair is floating along with his scarf, making it a sight to behold. What a waste of time. Prepare for the next event. Is your finger okay? Uraraka asks Midoriya. Yeah. The events go by, as Yudo watches every one of them, without participating. Moving along. Time for the results. Your total scores simply reflect your performance in each of the events. Explaining the process would be a waste of time, so all you get are the final rankings. Yudo notices Midoriya looking glum and worried. Also, I was lying about expelling someone. Shota says as he turns something on with a FWP. The entire class eyes bulge out and they are shocked into silence. That was a rational deception, meant to bring out the best in all of you. His grin widens. Wah! The entire class shouts, except a few. Well, of course it was a lie, didn't take much to figure that out, a black-haired girl with a spiky ponytail says, sweat dropping at their reactions. Yudo just smiles behind his hand, containing his laughter of amusement easily. Anyway, we're done here. Your documents about the curriculum and such are back in the classroom. Give them a look. He turns, Midoriya. Have Recovery Girl fix you up? Tomorrow's trials aren't gonna be any easier. He says, giving him a paper slip. After the school day ended, Yudo walks out with a tired Midoriya. I'm pooped. He says, slumping. How's your finger? Ida says, showing up suddenly. Ga. Ida-kun. It's fine, thanks to Recovery Girl. But Aizawa-sensei sure fooled us. He made me think, this is how it is at the top. But, our own instructor deceived us like that. Hey, you guys. Headed to the station? Wait up. Uraraka's voice shouts from behind, as she runs towards them. Ah, Infinity Girl. Ida greets. I'm Ochako Uraraka. You're Ida Tenya, Raiden Yudo, and Midoriya, Deku. Right. Deku? During the test, that Bakugo guy said your name was Deku, right? Midoriya fumbled for an answer, his hands moving around in awkward motions. Midoriya-kun's real name is Izuku, Deku is a nickname, I think? You didn't tell me before. Yudo answers partly. Yes. Thank you, Raiden-kun, Deku is just Kaken being a bully. So, Bakugo Kaken? A derogatory pet name then? Oh, gotcha. Sorry. But Deku, well, it just screams, do your best. I kinda like it, the way it sounds. She smiles. Oh, really? Then Deku's fine. He stutters out, grateful. I'm really proud of you, Midoriya-kun. Just a few weeks ago you only had me as your friend, now look at you. Yudo says encouragingly. Thank you, Raiden-kun. Your support means a lot to me. Speaking of which, how did you two meet? They chatted all the way to the station, Midoriya smiling happily all the way. Yudo walked with them, then explained that he lived at UA, waved goodbye, and went back. The next day, it was English for Class 1A. Who can find the mistake in the following English sentence? All right, everybody. Hands up. Show me some spirit. Hisashi shouts. But everyone looks so bored. Yudo frowns, more like pouts, at their expressions. At lunchtime, Yudo went to help out Lunch Rush, since Yudo's cooking was comparable to even him. I headcanon that Scara can cook super well, to the point that any food he even so much as touches becomes delicious, and everyone was gushing over him, but he doesn't realize, and shouting, UMAI. Then in the afternoon, it's hero basic training. I have come through the door, like normal. All Might boisterously shouts. It's All Might. Incredible, he's really gonna teach us. That's his Silver Age costume. He's drawn so differently than the rest of us. Gives me goosebumps. The class chatters. Hero basic training. The class that'll put you through all sorts of special training to mold you into heroes? All Might proudly exclaims, it also gives a ton of credits. He adds as an afterthought. No time to dally. Today's activity is this. He holds out a card with the word, battle. Battle training. He announces. And for that, you need these. A click sounds from the wall to All Might's right, and suitcases are arranged in columns. In accordance with the quirk registry and the special request forms you filled out before being admitted. Costumes. The class cheers as one excitedly. After you change, come out in ranking order to ground beta. Okay. They finish changing, and they all walk out in their hero costumes, looking flashy. Looking good is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Look alive now. Because from today on, you're all heroes. Yudo could hear the running footsteps of Midoriya, the last one. Well. Shall we begin, my wards? Midoriya steps out, in a weird green jumpsuit and a mouthguard with a smile on it. Shall we begin, my wards? It's time for battle training. Ah, Deku-kun? Cool costume. Really practical looking. Yudo hears Uraraka compliment. Uraraka-chan, whoa. I wish I'd been more specific on my request form, this suit's so puffy and curvy. It's embarrassing. Being in the hero course is the best. A grape kid says with a thumbs up. We're all here then? Looking good. All Might says, but he seems to stifle laughter when he sees Midoriya. Yudo looks between them for a bit, then sees how they look alike. Midoriya really likes All Might, huh? Maybe when it's his birthday I'll get him some limited edition All Might merch, if he doesn't already have them. He was in Deku's room when he opened the acceptance letters, so he saw all the All Might stuff. Sensei. This appears to be the same field used in the entrance exam. Will we once again be performing cityscape maneuvers? Ida asks, raising his hand. Nope. You'll be moving on to step 2. Indoor anti-personnel battle training. Villain battles are most commonly seen outdoors, but, statistically, the most heinous villains are more likely to appear indoors. Between confinement, house arrest, and black market deals, in this hero-filled society of ours, ahem. The cleverest villains out there lurk indoors. You'll now be split into villain teams and hero teams, and face off in 2-on-2 indoor battles. So no basic training? The frog girl asks. Practical experience teaches you the basics. The distinction here is that you won't be fighting disposable robots. What determines victory? Can I just blast everyone away? Are you threatening to expel someone, like Aizawa-sensei did? How do we proceed to divide ourselves into teams? How fabulous is my cape? The class all asks at once. One at a time. My quirk isn't super hearing. All Might opens a piece of paper and proceeds to read off of it. Listen up. Here's the deal. The villains will be hiding a nuclear weapon in the hideout. And the heroes have to go take care of it. The heroes have a limited amount of time to either capture the villains or secure the weapon. The villains must either capture the heroes or protect the weapon until time is up. The entire class sweat drops. Your battle partners will be decided by drawing lots. Is that really the best way? Ida asks, surprised. Makes sense, because pros often have to team up with heroes from other agencies on the spot during emergencies. Midoriya speaks up hesitantly. Yes, it's true. Yuto nods, as he confirms. I see. I apologize for getting ahead of myself, my mistake. It's fine. Let's just get to it. Midoriya with Uraraka, Team A. The dual-haired boy. An octopus guy, Team B. The spiky ponytail girl and the grape kid, Team C. Ida and Bakugo, Team D. The pink girl and the sparkly boy, Team E. The sugar guy and the guy with a rocky head, Team F. The earphone girl and the electric guy, Team G. The frog girl and the emo, bird boy, Team H. The invisible girl and the tail guy, Team I. The red spiky hair boy and the tape boy, Team J. Nice. Must be fate. Let's do this. Uraraka says encouragingly. Midoriya nods, trying to match her enthusiasm. MHM. Let's do this. He says, pumping a hesitant fist in the air. You can do it. I'm rooting for you, Midoriya-kun, Uraraka-chan. Yuto says, also pumping a fist, but more confident and encouraging. Thanks, Raiden-kun. Moving on, first up are, All Might says as he puts his hands into two boxes, one labeled hero and the other villain. These, he says, as two balls with the letters on them are shown. This won't end well. The heroes are Team A. The villains are Team D. Midoriya and Bakugo look at each other. The villain team goes in first. The timer starts in 5 minutes, when the hero team sneaks in. The rest of us will watch via CCTV. Young Ida, young Bakugo, you boys need to adopt a villain mindset. This is practical experience, so go all out. Don't hold back. Though I will stop you if you take things too far, All Might says to the two, most likely directing that last part to Bakugo. Yuto goes into the monitor room with the class and All Might to watch the exercise. Watch closely and try to learn something, everyone. Yuto frowns worriedly at the screens, worried for Midoriya. He knew that Bakugo was mean and brash, but surely he wouldn't hurt Midoriya too badly, right? Midoriya said they were childhood friends, so maybe he'll be okay. But the other day, Bakugo rushed forward, and it looked like he was going to attack Midoriya unprovoked. He balled his hands into fists, holding both up to his chest, silently cheering. You can do this, Midoriya-kun. Please stay safe. What he doesn't notice is that a few students glance at him curiously, however his adorable but worried expression makes their hearts melt. He watches as Midoriya and Uraraka wander the hallways, looking around warily. Suddenly, Bakugo appears. A sneak attack. The grape kid exclaims. I really need to check their names at some point. Yuto mentally notes to himself. He watches as Bakugo explodes the spot where the two were. Midoriya's mask thing was shredded, kind of. Half of it is still intact. That's low, Bakugo-kun. Sneak attacks are so unmanly. Yet they are a valid strategy. This is practical experience. That Midori-kun sure can dodge. Bakugo makes a move to attack, but Midoriya grabs him by the arm and flips him, slamming him to the ground. There isn't any audio for the battle, so they didn't know what they were saying. But Midoriya seemed to be making a speech or something, with that determined look he's giving. But Bakugo seems to be getting angrier and angrier. What are they saying? These fixed cameras don't have any sound. They're communicating with micro-transceivers. We give them to the battlers along with the building blueprints. All Might answers, then holds up something. Also, this is capture tape. Tying this around your opponent is sufficient proof of capture. So they've only got 15 minutes, but the heroes don't know the location of the weapon, right? Yes. The hero teams are at a real disadvantage, huh? It's like Aizawa told you. Say it with me. Plus ultra. Monsieur Bakugo is. Bakugo propels himself forward with his explosions, and Midoriya seems to tell Uraraka to go find the weapon, since she runs away. Midoriya uses the capture tape on one of Bakugo's legs, but doesn't fully tie him. Then Midoriya dodges Bakugo's attack. He's amazing. Going toe-to-toe without using his quirk. Against the top scorer in the entrance exam. Then Midoriya seems to think, then turns a corner. He's not running away. He has a strategy. Bakugo angrily follows, letting out explosions. He's really angry. It's scary. Someone comments in the monitor room. While Bakugo looks for Midoriya, he notices that Uraraka found Ida on another screen. She seems to be sneaking around, then she suddenly laughs? Then Ida monologues? What's with the posing? They won. Midoriya and Uraraka. But Midoriya, he got hurt pretty bad. So bad that he collapsed right after. And the building was trashed. They went back to the monitor room, and, well, I'd say, the MVP in this battle was young Ida. What? Not Ochako-chan or Midoriya-kun. Even though they won? I wonder why. Anyone know? I do, All Might Sensei. It's because Ida was most able to adapt to the scenario. From what I saw. Yuto tuned it out. He was too worried for Midoriya to listen at this point. When he realized it was silent, he looked up, confused. I'd also add that young Ida was a bit too stiff, but, yes, you're correct. All Migat says, sweating. His smile seems a bit strained. We've got to start at the bottom and work up. And if we don't earnestly cheer each other on, we'll never be top heroes. Everyone was silent. All Might seems unsure what to say next. All Might, can I maybe go see Midoriya at Chio-san's office? Oh. Of course, young Raiden. Go ahead. He gets there quickly, but Chio, Recovery Girl's first name, said that he can't accept visitors just yet. So he went back, and the room was cold. But it didn't bother him at all. Everyone was shivering, and their warm breaths made puffs of white air in front of them. He didn't notice Tsuyu and a few others looking at him, wondering why he doesn't have any puffs. All the other exercises pass by, and then they leave the monitor room. Well done, everyone. No serious injuries, apart from young Midoriya's. Great teamwork, though. You all did splendidly, considering this was your first training exercise. All Might congratulates. Coming after Aizawa-sensei, such a straightforward class is almost a letdown, someone says. We teachers are free to hold no-nonsense classes if we choose. Now, I'm off to give Midoriya his evaluation. Change out of those costumes and head back to the classroom. And he zooms off with a whoosh, leaving a trail of dust behind. He's in a hurry, so cool. The Grape Kid says. Then Yuto himself runs behind All Might, almost matching his pace. And the class jaws touch the ground, gobsmacked at his speed. And this is his third time here. Why didn't you prevent this, All Might? He hears Chio-san scolding him. He peeks in to see a skinny man with blonde hair. Wait, isn't that Yagi-san? My apologies, Recovery Girl. It's not me you need to apologize to. Yesterday and today, he's come to me completely fatigued. This isn't so easily healed. I've given him emergency first aid and N4 drip, but now all we can do is wait for him to recover on his own. She swivels her chair to look at All Might. Come on. I know you gave him your power, but whether he's your favorite or not, you have to stop indulging him. No, you're absolutely right. I was sympathizing with him too much, so I hesitated. But, can you at least keep it down? At least when we're discussing One for All? Oh, right. Sure thing, Mr. Natural-born Hero. Mr. Symbol of Peace. This true form of mine and my injury are common knowledge to the staff here at UA. However, only you, the principal, an old friend of mine, and Midoriya here know about my quirk. It's a secret to all others. They all turn their heads to Yuto, who heard everything. Sorry. I followed you here, Yagi-san. All Might? But, I was worried about Midoriya, and All Might pulls Yuto into the room gently, closing the door after he checked no one else was around. Young Raiden. I hope you'll keep that secret, for the safety of everyone. Of course. I understand it's a very important secret. All Might nods approvingly. Good, I know you wouldn't lie to me. You're too much of a good kid to lie. They all turn to look at Midoriya, all of them with similar but also different feelings. Then after school that day, he followed Midoriya back to the classroom. Midoriya slides open the door, and oh, Midoriya-kun's here. Welcome back, man. Kirishima-kun. I don't know what you were saying back there, but that was a wild battle. Huh. Nice dodging. We were all super pumped after that crazy first round. We were all just discussing the battle training, it was manly, dude. Kirishima says. I'm Mina Ashido. You did he real well. The pink girl says. I'm Tsuyu Azui. Just call me Tsuyu. The frog girl says. And I'm Sato. The sugar guy says. Whoa. Midoriya seems to be overwhelmed by all this attention, sweating and fidgeting. Hey, everyone, can you give him some space? He's not very used to this much attention. Yuto says, stepping in. Oh. Yeah sure. Sorry about that, bro. It's fine. Thanks, Raiden-kun. Yuto hears some other classmates talking too, So noisy, the bird boy says. Wanna catch a meal together, Uraraka-chan? What do you like? I like mochi. Desks are not meant to be sat upon. Please get off. Don't get bent out of shape, Ida. Oh? Uraraka gasps, noticing Midoriya. Deku-kun, your arm. Didn't you get it healed? Not quite. I'm pretty worn out, so, Uraraka-chan, sorry, I have to. After a bit of talking, he leaves. Maybe he went to talk with Bakugo. It's not really my business though. I'll respect their privacy. I was abandoned. I was too weak for her. I wasn't enough for my creator. I was too fragile for my mother. My mother abandoned me. I could have been better if she didn't. I could have improved. So why? I'll work hard. I'll do anything. I won't cry again. Please take me back. Please. Yuto woke up. How did I wake up? He frowned confusedly. It was still dark, it was only midnight. Then again, I don't need to sleep. So he got out of bed, changed, and took a walk around UA's campus. The wind blew gently, it was cool, fresh, and it felt good on his artificial skin. The wind. He reached up to his neck, where he put the glowing ornament and the golden feather, looking like a necklace. He only kept it since it just felt important. It felt right. He remembered when Togata asked him about it one time, and he smiled at the memory. Hey Yuto-kun, I've been wondering what that glowing thing on your neck was, and I think now's a good time to ask. Togata, Mirio, had said. Oh, this? I actually don't know either. It just feels really important. Maybe my creator left this to me. That's a fair point. Then I'm guessing the feather is too. Yes, I feel so lucky to have two gifts from my creator, even if I'm not sure what it's for. TBH, he's kinda right in a way. He looked down at it, as it glowed. Then he looked up again, feeling the wind around him. The wind rises once more. What's it like learning from All Might? A reporter asks Izuku, shoving a mic in his face. Said Teen Jolts, sorry. I'm due at the nurse's office. He gets to the classroom, thankfully, without any more reporters getting in his way. But he notices them pestering other students as well. Izuku looks around, and notes that Raiden isn't here. Then he realizes that Raiden wasn't there at the gates either. But he couldn't dwell on it when Aizawa walks in, and holds a small stack of papers. Good work with yesterday's battle training. I've looked over your grades and evaluations. He says, making the class slightly surprised. Bakugo. Grow up already. Stop wasting your talent. Got it. Kaken grits out. And, it seems Midoriya ended yet another day with a broken arm. Izuku jolts at the sudden attention. Learn to control your quirk, because just trying isn't going to cut it. I hate repeating myself. But you do have potential, assuming you can overcome this. Work at it, Midoriya. Okay. Now, on to homeroom business, sorry for the sudden announcement. But today, the class gets on guard, not looking forward to whatever he was going to say. You'll pick a class president. Such a normal, school-like thing. The class exclaims as one, relieved sighs coming out. Then it becomes an uproar, with almost everyone raising their hands and shouting things like, I'd like to do it. I want to be president. Let me do it. In my administration, girls will have to show 30 centimeters of thigh. I hate you, Mineta. The position was made for me. I want to be a leader. In normal schools, the position just entails mundane tasks, so nobody really wants to do it. But in the hero course at UA, it would mean leading the group, a position suited for a top hero in the making. So even Izuku raised his hand, albeit meekly. Quiet down, everyone. Ida's voice rang out. Leading the many is a task of heavy responsibility. But ambition does not equate to ability. This sacred office demands the trust of its constituents. If this is to be a democracy, then I put forward the motion, he continues seriously. That our true leader must be chosen by election. This is just a classroom. Not Congress. But Ida-kun, we haven't known each other long enough to build any trust. Azui says. And everyone'll just vote for themselves. Kirishima adds. That's precisely why anyone who manages to earn multiple votes will be the best suited individual for the job. Will you allow this, sensei? However you do it, just make it quick. Was the reply, as Aizawa squirms into his sleeping bag. I got 3 votes. Izuku exclaims, clearly surprised. What the? Who the hell voted for Deku? Kaken shouts. Guess we know it wasn't you. Hantasiro, he remembered, said. There was more chattering. Fine. So your president's Midoriya and your vice president is Yayorozu. Aizawa announces. What a shame. Seriously? Izuku stutters madly, sweating nervously. At lunch, he has looked around for any signs of Raiden, but he wasn't there at all. So he decided he'd ask a teacher about him, since he seemed pretty close with them. So many people here? Besides the hero course, there are also students from the support and business courses. We all come together for lunch. Izuku says. This rice is tasty. Uraraka says. I'm just a little worried about whether or not I can really be class president. You can. Worry not. Midoriya-kun. Your grit and decisiveness in a pinch make you perfectly suited to lead us all. That's why I voted for you. But didn't you want to be president too, Ida-kun? You've got glasses and everything. Uraraka-chan really just says whatever pops into her head, huh? Again, ambition and suitability are different matters. I humbly made the choice I felt was correct. Humbly? The way you talk. Ida-kun, are you a rich kid? A rich kid? I don't like people to know, so I try to hide it, but, yes. Mine is a renowned hero family. And I am the second son. Whoa, cool. Do you know of the turbo hero, Ingenium? Of course. Of course. He employs 65 sidekicks at his office in Tokyo. So you're? And he blabs on. How very informed, yes, he is my brother. Ida says, pushing up his glasses proudly. He's so frank about it. Wow. He leads the people with his unwavering adherence to rules and regulations. A truly beloved hero. It's my admiration for my brother that's inspired my own desire to become a hero. Though I realize I'm not ready to lead anyone. As the superior candidate, it was right that the role should go to you, Midoriya-kun. He says, smiling a bit. They stay silent for a few seconds, looking at Ida. Never seen you smile before, Ida-kun. Uraraka says. Eh? Is that so? I smile on occasion. Just like I've got All Might. Ida-kun has Ingenium. As I thought, The alarm. Security level 3 has been broken. All students. Please evacuate in an orderly fashion. What's security level 3? Ida asks someone running past with weird hand motions. It means someone's infiltrated the building. Hasn't happened in my 3 years here. What's with these hands? Anyway, hurry up and get out of here. The guy replies. Everyone rushes and pushes each other, with people getting smacked in the face accidentally or smushed between other people, while some were carried away with the wave. Ow, ow. Stop shoving. Wait, I'm gonna fall. I said quit pushing. It was chaos. Ow. What's going on? Uraraka asks. Such a rapid response to danger. I'd expect no less from this great institution. Maybe a little too rapid. Everyone's panicking. Then he gets shoved and he's lost into the masses of legs and feet. Oof. I'm going down. Deku-kun. Midoriya-kun. And he was completely lost, getting trampled on. It was a world of pain, and he gets pushed this way then gets shoved another, and he can't catch a break. Then later, he saw Ida, zooming in the air, like a drill. Ida-kun? He exclaims. Everyone, everything's fine. It's just the press. There's nothing to panic about. We're fine. This is UA. Behave in a way befitting this great institution. Everyone stopped, and Izuku slumped to the ground, relieved. Go ahead, class president. We'd like to choose the other student council members, but before that, this is important. He says, sweating a lot. I believe that Ida-kun is better suited to be class president. He seems to get more confident. You all saw well he less everyone in that crisis. I think he's the correct choice for the job. He finishes. Ah. Sounds good. Ida-kun really showed his stuff back in the cafeteria. Not that I've got anything against Midoriya-kun. Kirishima says. He was like a beacon pointing towards the emergency exit. Kaminari says. Whatever. Just get on with it, what a waste of time. Aizawa says, as he glares. But he has a jelly packet, I know what it's called now, laughing face, in his mouth, not making it very effective, but it did the trick. Eek. I will accept the job, then. You can do it, Mr. Exit Sign. Exit Sign Ida. Do your best. And that's how Ida became class president. After school ended and everyone began packing up, he walked over to where Aizawa was. Aizawa-sensei, can I ask you? About problem child? At the gym. The gym? Yeah, go see for yourself. Okay, thank you, sensei. Sure. Deku-kun? He turns to where Uraraka and Ida are. Oh. You two can go ahead, I have some things to do. Okay. See you tomorrow, Deku Midoriya-kun. Bye guys. They wave, and Izuku took his trusty yellow bag, and went to the gym. There, he couldn't believe what he saw. Raiden was flying. Flying. With a teal glowing halo-like thing behind him. He immediately got his notebook and pencil out, writing and muttering madly about the characteristics of it and what he theorized it could do, somehow forgetting to actually talk to Raiden. Flying was so fun. He flew from pillar to pillar, made of cement, by Cementos, and dodged them. It was like he flew before, his body seemed to flow like water, weaving and flying on instinct and reflex. Did his creator program him to? Is that why he had this, whatever it's to be called? Either way, he's having fun figuring it out for the whole day, and he has 4 ways of using it, all linked together in a way. Yuban Meigen, used in 2 of them and his normal attack. Hanega, Song of the Wind, which can use Yuban Meigen in mid-air. Gales of Reverie, connected to Hanega, Song of the Wind, only happens after he hits something with Yuban Meigen and dashes forward. The last one, which could be fatal, and should be used in emergencies, Kyujin, Shikaraku Go Band-Aid. It compresses the atmosphere into a singular vacuum that grinds at the target. He hears a bunch of muttering and scribbling by the entrance of the gym, and turns to see Midoriya. He flies over and lands in front of him, startling him a bit. "Hey Midoriya-kun. Sorry I wasn't here today, I was kinda busy." Yudo says, smiling brightly. Oh, it's okay, Raiden-kun. You go ahead and ask, Midoriya-kun. After many questions, Midoriya nodded as he wrote everything down passionately, smiling. That's so cool. Ah, but I already said that your quirk was enhanced senses. Sorry. It's okay. We'll just keep this a secret for now, since first years at UA don't know of my identity until they get to second year. We can just tell everyone then. Oh, really? Then that's great. But wait, the school day's already ended, right? Aren't you going home? I told my mom that I'll be back before dinner. Oh. Then I can take you to my house. You have a house? Ha. Yep. On campus. Come with me. They arrive, and Midoriya's eyes bulge out of his eye sockets. This is where you live? It's so luxurious. I know, it's all thanks to Namuri-san and Hisashi-san. Oh, make the difference. The first time. Scara, the cutest and sweetest guy ever. Traveler and Paimon, is this really the balladeer? The second time. Scara gets his memories back and becomes an emo helicopter again. Everyone in MHA, is this really Yudo? Getting kidnapped is too easy. Guy, hey kid, come with us. Yudo, okay. Guy, wow, we didn't even offer anything. Yudo, I trust you. Guy, this boy is on fire. Yudo finds fire on the stove and puts his hand in it and likes it. Also Yudo, arson. Laughing face. UA staff, no. Dabi, yes. It was 12:50 p.m. Now for today's hero training, this time, All Might, myself and one other will supervise. Shota says. Yudo nods. Yes, I'm sure some of you will be happy to hear what we will be doing. He says, standing beside Shota, smiling. What are we doing, exactly? Zero asks, raising his hand. Preparing you for disaster relief, from fires to floods. Shota holds out a card with the word, rescue. It's rescue training. Something very important for heroes to learn at least the basics of. Yudo announces. Rescue, sounds like another rough day. Right. Come on, this is what being a hero's all about. I'm pumped. I'll be right at home in a flood. Ribbit. Hey. I'm not done. Shota cuts in, silencing the chatter. It's up to each of you whether or not you wear your costumes. As some of them are ill-suited to this sort of activity. Yudo presses a button on a remote, and the suitcases appeared from the wall once again, sliding out with a KRRR. The training site is a bit remote, so we'll be going by bus. That's all. Get ready. Shota finishes. The class finishes changing, and they all walk to the bus. Yudo follows the class. You wore your gym clothes, Deku-kun? Where's your costume? Uraraka asks. It didn't make it through battle training in one piece, the school's support company is repairing it. Just gotta wait for now. Also bought a new one of these things. He replies, gesturing to his new mouthguard at the last bit. Line up according to your ID numbers. Fill those seats in an orderly fashion. He hears Ida say, whistling sharply to get everyone's attention. Ida-kun's going full throttle. Darn. It was this type of bus. Ida says, defeated. All that for nothing. Ashido says, who is sitting beside him. Yudo himself just stands, not holding on to anything. Getting a few concerned and confused looks. I generally say what's on my mind, Midoriya-chan. Oh? What is it, Azui-chan? Call me Tsuyu. Your quirk resembles All Might's. Oh no. The secret? Ah really? He stutters, nah. Hold up, Tsuyu. All Might doesn't get hurt, though. Kirishima-kun to the rescue. They're already different in that way. But that sort of simple, strength-enhancing quirk is awesome. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it. Not like my hardening. To demonstrate, he holds out his left arm and it hardens with a few clicks and clacks. I'm good in a fight, but it's real boring. I think that's pretty neat, though. Your quirk's more than enough if you want to go pro. But don't forget that heroes also have to worry about popular appeal. Huh? Really? But, Shota-san. Yuto tilts his head and frowns a bit. My naval laser is both strong and cool. Perfect for a pro. As long as you don't blow up your own stomach. You wanna talk strong and cool? That'd be Todoroki-kun and Bakugo-kun. TCH. But Bakugo-chan's so unhinged. He'd never be popular. What did you say, Frogface? See. We've only barely started socializing and already you've made it abundantly clear to us the unpleasantness of your steamed turd of a personality. Yeah, okay, Mr. Vocabulary. How about I pound you? Yuto glances at Midoriya, he seems to be having a life-changing revelation. Oh yeah, Raiden-chan. HM? What is it, Tsuyu-chan? I noticed that during Todoroki's match in the battle training, when the temperature dropped, you didn't make any puffs of warm air. Isn't your quirk enhanced senses? That made everyone quiet down, listening to what Yuto has to say. Oh? Well, we're here. Look sharp, now, Shota says loudly. Everyone straightens up. Okay, they all shout. Built this facility myself. I call it, the Unforeseen Simulation Joint. 13 says proudly. It's the space hero, 13. He's a gentleman hero who does his best work in rescue scenarios. Midoriya blabs on. Ooh, I love 13. Uraraka cheers. I never really met 13 that much, actually. Yuto mentions offhandedly. He hears Shota ask 13 something quietly. 13. Where's All Might? I thought he was meeting us here. Shota looks around. About that, senpai, 13 holds up 3 fingers. It seems he just about reached his limit during his morning commute. He's resting in the break room. The height of irrationality. So be it. Let's get started. Before we do, I have 1 or 2 points. Or 3, 4. Lots of points. As I'm sure many of you are aware, my quirk is called Black Hole. It can SCK in and tear apart anything. And you've used it to save people in all sorts of disasters. Midoriya adds, while Uraraka nods enthusiastically. Indeed, however, my power could easily kill. I've no doubt there are some among you with similar abilities. In our superpowered society, the use of quirks is heavily restricted and monitored. It may seem that this system is a stable one. But we must never forget that it only takes one wrong move with an uncontrollable quirk for people to die. During Aizawa's physical fitness test, you came to learn of your own hidden potential. Through All Might's battle training, you experienced the danger that your respective quirks can pose to others. This class will show you a new perspective. You will learn how to utilize your quirks to save lives. Your powers are not meant to inflict harm. I hope you leave here today with the understanding that you're meant to help people. That is all. I thank you for listening. 13 finishes the speech with a bow. He's awesome. Uraraka cheers. Bravo. Bravo. Ida claps. Great. First off, Shota starts, then trails off when he seems to notice something by the fountain. Yuto goes over to see what it is, and a black, swirling, mist-like thing appears. Someone emerges from it when it becomes big enough. Alarm bells start ringing in his head. Huddle up and don't move. Shota shouts. Huh? 13. Protect the students. What the heck is that? More battle robots? Like during the entrance exam. No. Don't move. Those are real villains. Yuto finishes for him. He hears the misty figure say something. 13, an Eraserhead, is it? According to the staff schedule I received the other day. All Might is supposed to be here. Of course. That whole incident was this scum's doing. Yuto remembers what Shota told him. Someone had broken the gate and it caused Security Level 3's protocol to be activated. From what he heard from Midoriya, it caused everyone to panic. He clenches his fists a bit. If it comes down to it, he'll have to use his newfound power, and it'll raise many unwanted questions. Where is he? We've come all this way. And brought so many playmates. All Might, the symbol of peace, is he here? A raspy voice speaks, he seems to be the leader. I wonder if some dead kids will bring him here. Shota prepared leap down the stairs with his scarf, goggles in place. Villains? No way. What villains be dumb enough to sneak into a school for heroes? Sensei. Aren't there intruder sensors? Yaoyorozu, is that how you spell her name? It's so complicated, asks. Yes, of course there are. Are they only here, or also at the main building? Either way, if the sensors aren't working, it has to be one of their quirks that's doing it. Todoroki observes, this place is far from the campus. And they picked a time when there'd be few people here, so maybe they're not as dumb as they seem. They must have an objective. Because this is a well-coordinated sneak attack. 13. Begin evacuation. And try calling the school. One of these villains must be jamming the sensors. There's a good chance one of their electric types is causing the interference. Kaminari. Try using your quirk to signal for help. He says seriously, his stance defensive and never looking away from the mass of villains. Got it. But sensei, you can't fight them all alone. Against that many, even you can't nullify all their quirks. As Eraserhead, your fighting style involves erasure and a quick binding capture. Head-on battle isn't, Midoriya trails off. No good hero is a one-trick pony. 13. Take care of them. You too, problem child. And with that, he leaps down. He does well, and takes them down one by one or a few at a time. Wow! He can hold his own even when outnumbered. Midoriya analyses. This is no time for analysis. Hurry up and evacuate. Ida calls out to him. Ida-kun is right. Come here, Midoriya-kun. Quickly. Yudo calls as well. I won't allow that. The misty figure warps in front of them, stopping them. Greetings. We are the League of Villains. Forgive our audacity, the King. Audacity, but, today we've come here to UA High School, this bastion of heroism, to end the life of All Might, the symbol of peace. We were under the impression that All Might would be here today, but, it seems his schedule was revised? Well, no matter. My role remains unchanged. It makes a move to engulf everyone, spreading the swirling mist, and he notices 13 flicking open one of the caps on their finger. But Kirishima and Bakugo rush in, both attacking. Not if we end you first. Bakugo says menacingly. Betcha didn't see that coming. Kirishima shouts. That was close, yes, students though you may be, you are the best of the best. It wavers. No, get back. Both of you. 13 shouts. Be gone. And with that, the mist engulfs Yudo, not letting him see everyone else. For a moment, he felt like he was floating. It was dark. So lonely. He was suspended in midair. It was familiar. Then he landed. Oh make. In another timeline? Shigaraki, we are here to kill All Might. Insert dry evil laugh. Yudo, oh no, please don't. Shiggy, okay. Yudo, laughing face. News, kid from UA single-handedly stops villain attack with politeness. All hail Raiden Yudo, our god. In another timeline? Yudo, I got this. Proceeds to use vision and absolutely destroys the villains in one swoop. Also Yudo, done. Laughing face. Bakugo, processing. Kirishima, stares dumbly. Also Kirishima, manly. In another timeline? Yudo, encounters the Nomu. Also Yudo, exists. Nomu, self-destructs to not get orders to hurt or kill Yudo. Yudo was getting accustomed to flying, to the point that he would fly all around. Everyone other than the first years at UA, Midoriya is an exception, know of his newfound abilities, so he only flies around them when the first years aren't around. But he was disappointed when he realized that people can't use their quirks in public, even if it doesn't even have any combat abilities or anything dangerous about it. Like for example, if someone with a bat wings mutation quirk flies to work every day, it won't hurt anyone. Maybe they could have flight licenses, like they do for driving, or something. That would be cool, then all the people with flight-based quirks could use their quirks in public. So, with this new idea in mind, he went to Principal Nizu and talked to him about it. Nizu seemed surprised, he genuinely hadn't thought of that before. So he sent an email to the government, and awaited their response. Weeks later, it was all over the news. Flight licenses were a real thing now, and Yudo went to take the exam. The people there would examine your quirk, and give you specific instructions based on it. He watched as many people aced their exams, and they flew happily to wherever they needed to go. He smiled, proud that he was able to help people in a way. Notes. I was thinking about this when I was taking a duk-duk, but why don't they have flight licenses? Surely someone must have thought of it in real life, if a world with superpowers like quirks were real. Heck, they might even have other licenses regarding quirks. Like using an aquatic quirk for swimming or using a quirk for sports, quirk sports, or something, you know? Before Midoriya's first year at UA, since Yudo lived in the school for quite long, he met Togata, Mirio, Nijire, Amajiki, and their class, 3B, but at the time, 2B. When another class was electing their own class representative, someone asked if Yudo could be the representative. Then another said that Yudo was better than a class rep, and everyone agreed. So they did a separate election for Yudo, about his official title at UA. The class teacher agreed to let them do so, and left them to it. Eventually, he got the title of God. Now, officially, Raiden Yudo is the god of UA High School. Nizu approved of it with laughter when their teacher told Nizu about it. When the announcement was made to the entire school, Togata had laughed and said the title was befitting. Notes. I watched Komi Can't Communicate before, and I got this idea, inspired by that one episode. So now, our Yudo is the god at UA, I guess he kinda achieved his former goal of becoming a god, no? That's all of M. Buncha Mooks. Katsuki says, his hands smoking a bit. Him and Craphair, Kirishima, just finished beating up the villains that were there. Deku 2.0, Yudo, was weak and useless, so they had to protect him like a princess and her knights. Great. Now let's hurry and help the others. If we're here, I bet everyone else is also still in USJ. I'm worried about the guys who don't really have ways to attack. Like Raiden Kuin. Craphair says, rubbing his face with his wrist. Yes, I know I'm not really good at combat, but I hope I helped by telling you if anyone was sneaking up on you. Deku 2.0 says, then he looks to somewhere behind him. Katsuki doesn't care enough to look at whatever it was behind him. Of course you helped us, dude. You're a real help. But 13 Sensei's probably got his hands full since we rushed ahead like that. None of this woulda happened if we'd let him SCK in that mist man. As men, we gotta take responsibility. If that's what you want, then go on alone. I'm gonna beat that warp gate guy to a pulp. Huh. The two gasp. Deku 2.0 seems horrified. Still pulling that immature crap at a time like this? Besides, normal attacks don't work on him. Shut up. He's how these punks are getting around. Bring him down, and they'll have nowhere to run. And it's not. Bakugo-kun. Deku 2.0 says seriously. Ugh, what? Behind you, near the ground. He says, staring blankly at whatever it is he's talking about. Katsuki only slightly turns his torso around to grab the villain's head and let out an explosion, knocking him out. And it's not like I don't have a way to beat him. I mean, if all they're sending against us are these idiots, we should be fine. Then he lets out a few more to make sure he's out. Deku 2.0 seems to look uncomfortable at this. You sure are. Calm all of a sudden, you're usually like, die, 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 you know? I'm always calm, you dmed broomhead. Ah, there it is. I'm outta here. Hold up. You gotta trust your pals. Be a man, Bakugo-kun. You've convinced me. Ah, wait for me. Then Deku 2.0 just zooms past them easily, leaving them dumbfounded and staring after him blankly. Is bad, Midoriya, time for a change of plans, yeah? Yudo hears Mineta's trembling voice as he gets closer, by hiding in the bushes and sneaking towards the plaza. It seems Tsuyu is with them, too. Ribbit, Tsuyu quietly croaks. Midoriya looks horrified. Yudo follows their gaze, to see. Shota. He almost cries out, clasping his hands over his mouth at the last minute. Tears on the brim of falling. Tamura Shigaraki. The Misty Man says, appearing. Kurojairi. So that's their names. Is 13 dead? What? Oh no. Please no. He's incapacitated, but there were some students I couldn't warp away, and one of them escaped. Kurojairi reports. Oh? Shigaraki begins to scratch at his neck, speeding up slowly as he talks, leaving red marks. Ha, ha. Kurojairi. You. I'd turn you to dust if you weren't our ticket out of here. We won't stand a chance against dozens of pros. It's game over, man, it's game over, for now. He says, stopping the scratching. He notices that his neck is slightly bleeding. We're leaving. Leaving? Did he just say they're leaving? Mineta asks hopefully. I think so. Tsuyu affirms. We're saved. Yes. Yeah, but, she cuts off, but he's not sure why. He turns his head to look at them, but Mineta was just hugging Tsuyu, right? Why was she blushing? Then she holds Mineta's head underwater, innocent little boy. I've got a bad feeling, Midoriya-chan. She states. Yeah, to do all this, and then just leave on a whim, Midoriya agrees. But before that. He hears the raspy voice of Shigaraki speak up again, he turns to look at him. Let's leave a few dead kids, he vaguely points in Midoriya's direction. He realizes what he means immediately. He moves forward before he could even think, sending out a wind blade of Yuban Meigen just as he appears directly in front of Tsuyu. It cuts deep into Shigaraki's arm, but not enough to hurt him or disconnect his arm. He yelps in surprise and pain and holds his arm with his other hand, the sleeve's edges crumbling. That could have been Midoriya or Tsuyu or Mineta. The thought makes him feel so scared for them and all his friends. Stay away from my friends. He shouts bravely, getting in the amateur fighting stance that Midoriya did in All Might's exercise. Attack me instead. Shigaraki looks him for a hot second, and then tilts his head menacingly. Another student? How'd you get here so fast? That's a nice quirk you've got there, and you have such good looks too. He begins scratching at his neck again. You're perfect to be a hero? Heh, you're just like the others. He stops scratching and opens his arms wide in a villain pose, about to monologue. Fighting for glory and fame, doing that don't hurt my friends act to look good. Violence in the name of justice, huh? Why is it that when people with quirks like mine hurt people, we're labeled as villains? Only heroes are allowed to? He returns to scratching violently. He's bleeding. Please stop scratching yourself. You're already bleeding. He says, mildly concerned for him. I should have thought first before hurting him. He's bleeding a bit too much. Yuto, you idiot. Why can't you do anything right for once? You already weren't good enough for mother, so you were. What? Again with that good guy act. Drop it. You're just one of them. And I'll end you, just as I will with the others. And he lunged forward, arm out, ready to turn him to dust. Then Midoriya rushes forward and punches Shigaraki. Leave him alone. He screams. Nomu. He hears Shigaraki say just before the punch connects. Smash. Midoriya shouts. He heard the punch hit, but when the smoke cleared, Nomu looked over Midoriya, unfazed. Huh? Quite a move you just pulled off, and with a smash, too. You a fan of All Might? The Nomu grabs Midoriya by the arm. Well, whatever. Tsuyu shoots out her long tongue in an attempt to get Midoriya out of Nomu's grasp. Aizawa shows no signs of getting up or moving. Shigaraki holds out a hand to Mineta as the great boy reaches for the ball on his head and the other hand holding away Shigaraki's palm. Yuto is about to send out another wind blade. Then the door suddenly shoots open with a bam. Fear not. All Might's booming voice rings out. But instead of his signature smile, his expression is a deep scowl. I am here. He announces. All Might. Mineta cheers. Everyone's expressions of hope are infectious, as Yuto can't help but smile with relief. But he remembers it's not over yet. But still, there's a name, and two images in his mind, and two voices. A man with a red streak in his brown hair. A little boy with yellow hair. Niwa and the child. But who's Niwa? Yuto's terrific hearing let him know what All Might was saying by the entrance. I had a bad feeling, so I cut my talk with the principal short and came right away. He hears some sounds of crying. He hopes it's because of the relief that All Might was here. Then I ran into young Ida on the way, he continues. He told me the gist of what's going on here. And it made my blood boil. You kids must have been so scared, and my colleagues. Yuto squinted and looked hard. He saw 13 on the ground, quivering, with a hole on his back. All Might seemed to be looking at the downed hero, with the way his head was inclined to his direction. Did their best. However. That's exactly why I have to stand tall now and declare. Fear not. I am here. And with that, he rips off his tie, scowling. Yuto hears multiple people gasp at once, students and villains alike, exclaiming, All Might. I've been waiting, hero. You're worthless trash. He hears Shigaraki say, with his forever raspy voice. That's. I've never seen him in person before. A villain, he thinks, remarks, in awe. No backing down, you idiot. We're here to kill him, another says, most likely hiding his own fear and uncertainty. Then All Might promptly leaps, and proceeds to knock out every small villain in the plaza and gets to Shota's side. I'm sorry, Aizawa. He picks him up, slings him over his shoulder, turns to where Yuto and Midoriya and the others are, then rushes forward, picking them all up, sands the remaining villains, and puts them down nearby the bottom of the stairs. All of All Might's movements were untraceable for the untrained eye, but Yuto could, even if he's not exactly sure why. Everyone, to the entrance. Take Aizawa. He's unconscious, so hurry. Ha! Wait. What? So fast. He barely registers Mineta's shock. Ah, no good. I'm sorry, father. Yuto looks back to Shigaraki, watching as the villain picks up one of the hands. Throwing punches to save people, he lets out a dry laugh. That's our state-sponsored violence. You're too fast to keep up with, but not as fast as expected. Could it really be true? He catches a glimpse of the villain's face, just before he puts back on the hand on his face. Red eyes. That you're getting weaker? What? Does he know? If he does, then how? Yuto notices All Might looking the tiniest bit unnerved. He's hiding his emotion really well this time, unlike during the exercise. It's no use, All Might. That brain villain. 1-4, my attack wasn't strong enough to break my own arm, but he didn't even flinch. Up against that, Midoriya trails off. Yuto sees the concerned and worried look on his friend's face. Midoriya, kid. All Might's signature smile returns at last. Fear not. And with that, All Might dashes forward to fight Nomu. Yudo focuses on getting Shota over his back, hearing the sounds of battle behind him. Everyone fumbles as Aizawa was much bigger than them, and definitely bigger than Yudo. But he finds himself barely straining as he carries his teacher? Friend? Parent figure? 3. It looks strange, for a grown man on a tiny little teenage boy's back. He gets confused looks from his friends, like, how are you doing that? Or, I think you're defying physics and science. Or, I'm cutting off my nettas, my brain can't think of any lewd comments in general and I hate the grape kid. Yudo tried very hard not to look at the exposed muscle on Shota's elbow and how it was bent to a very unnatural angle for humans. He had a solemn look on his face. In the end, Midoriya held Shota's lower body while Yudo held Shota's upper body. A very loud slamming noise was made by All Might, suplexing. It was a little too loud for Yudo's greater senses, and he flinched hard. So hard that he almost dropped Shota. Luckily Tsuyu kept him standing. How does suplex make an explosion like that? All Might's in a whole different league. Mineta exclaims. Yet he's a newbie as a teacher, with those cheat sheets and all. Tsuyu remarks. Yudo just shakily nods in agreement, still reeling from his mechanical eardrums getting exploded. He notices Midoriya's expression, looking in All Might's direction. Nice. They totally underestimated what All Might's capable of. He hears Sato cheer. Ah, it's Deku and those guys. Uraraka points, from the top of the stairs. Eh? She doesn't remember my name? That's okay, we just met anyway. Beautiful, sweet boy, love. They just barely make it to the stairs, as everyone else looks at the intense battle. Go get him. Get him in the junk. Mineta yells encouragement. Guess we were worried for nothing, he's unreal, Tsuyu says. That's not really true. Because I know, and Midoriya knows too. Meanwhile, Midoriya thinks he's the only one here who knows, LMAO. After a small while of watching Nomu and All Might fight, Midoriya speaks up. ASU, Tsu-you. You finally got it right. Nice. What is it, Midoriya? Please take Aizawa-sensei for me in my place. Wait, he's not going to do what I think he's going to do, right? Midoriya. Sure, but what are you? The moment Tsuyu takes his place behind Yudo, Midoriya rushes to All Might. Yudo began to panic, as Midoriya did exactly what he predicted he was going to do. Mineta-kun. Please take care of Shota-san with Tsuyu-chan for me. I'll bring Midoriya-kun back as soon as possible. Thank you. And without waiting for a reply, he runs after Midoriya, catching up easily. All Might. Midoriya yells. Foolish. He hears Kurojiiri say, as a portal that leads to who knows where opens up in front of them. Midoriya-kun. Wait. Bakugo sees Deku and Deku 2.0. He's fast, rushing in to help All Might, then almost running into a portal. Get the hell out of here. Dekus. He shouts, hitting the main body of the warp gate BSTRD, with one hand on the neck slamming him to the ground. Some other things were happening, but he was mainly focused on the missed BSTRD. You're not all that. You misty mook. He mocks, then turns his attention to other things, but still keeping one eye on his victim. You've pinned down our way out. Well, this is a problem, the hand guy says. Yudo sweated a bit nervously, having a bad feeling. You slipped up, you BSTRD. And it's just like I thought. The parts you can turn into that foggy warp are limited. And you're using that misty crap to hide your real body, yeah? Am I right? If your whole body was mist and physical attacks didn't work, you'd never say, that was a close one. The misty man struggles a bit, but Bakugo immediately pushes him down harder. Don't move. If I decide you're doing anything fishy, I'll blow you straight to Kingdom Come. He smiles evilly, looking more like a villain than hero. Yudo shudders a bit. That's not very hero-like, dude, Kirishima remarks, on a similar wavelength as him. Not only have you beaten our level, but you're all at full health. Today's kids really are. Something, our League of Villains should be ashamed. Yudo frowns. Beaten our level? Full health? Huh? My child, it's gaming lingo. Nomu. Take out the explosive brat. We need our escape route back. And immediately, the monster-like villain strains itself and cracks the ice that Todoroki made. Its right leg and arm crumbles away. His body's falling apart, but he's still moving. Midoriya exclaims. Yudo frowns. I don't think Nomu's a human. Get back, everyone. What the? I thought his quirk was shock absorption. All Might shouts, later muttering, befuddled. Then new muscles burst out from the missing stubs, ripping the black skin and the pants it has. I don't remember saying that's all he can do. This is hyper-regeneration. Nomu is a superpowered living sandbag designed to withstand everything you've got. The leader explains. I was right. Now a hand bursting out from the Nomu, and it rushes to Bakugo. Yudo sees All Might leaping in his way, likely planning to take the hit for Bakugo. His body moved forward on its own, now in front of All Might, about to take the hit for him instead. It hits. It sends waves, making the trees lean and creak. Almost everyone there covers their face from all the wind. It hurts. The skin on his arm, it's cracked, like porcelain. Young Raiden. All Might whisper shouts in concern and surprise. Kaken. He barely hears Midoriya shout, worried. Kaken? You dodged that? Wow. Midoriya gushes. I didn't. Shut up, you. Was Bakugo's gruff response. The dust clears, and he sees Midoriya and them again. Yudo's legs give out. He kneels, Japanese style, with his back facing All Might, his other arm cradling the injured one. It's okay, Kabukimono. Just breathe, and it'll stop hurting soon. I'll go get some bandages, stay here, okay? You're doing so well, Kabukimono. Next time, you'll succeed for sure. For now, how about we take a break? The voice he registered as Niwa spoke up. No one else seemed to hear this Niwa. Was he hallucinating? He follows the instruction, and breathes deeply, desperately trying to cool himself down. He feels much better after the 7th one. Do you feel better now? Good. I'm so proud of you. Now, I'll apply some ointment and then wrap the bandage. It might hurt a little, but you're very strong, so I'm sure you can do it. See? You're so brave. Good job, Kabukimono. He feels a warm hand, patting him on the head gently, and yet, it felt like it wasn't there at the same time. This guy doesn't know how to hold back. Yudo barely hears All Might say through all the pain, and he feels a large, warm hand on his shoulder. This one, definitely real. Raiden-kun. Your skin. Midoriya shouts. Kirishima gasps, loudly, at the sight of his cracked skin. Yudo didn't see, but Todoroki and Bakugo's eyes widened a fraction. He feels liquid oozing out from the cracks in small lines. The liquid, it was purple, and it had little parts that glowed, looking like the galaxy. Is this how his blood looked like? Basically the fluid in the strings of his machine. I just headcanon that it's his blood. Anything to save a comrade, comrade, right? Just like earlier when, that one, and the other one, the plain one and that, cracked up kid. They came at me with everything they had. But violence in the name of saving others is admirable? Isn't it, hero? The leader begins, his raspy voice loud. You know what, All Might? That pisses me off. Heroes and villains both thrive in violence, but we're still categorized. You're good. You're evil. That's how it is. He spreads his arms slightly. Symbol of peace? In the end you're just a tool for violence, made to keep us down. And violence only breeds more violence. I'll show the world that by killing you. What a load of hooey. Idealistic criminals have a different sort of fire in their eyes. But you're just enjoying yourself, you big liar. All Might says in turn, smiling his signature smile, not that Yudo could see it from his position. You got me. Saw right through, the villain sneers. All Might picks up Yudo gently, and carries him instantly to Midoriya's side, and he immediately sees to Yudo's cracked arm. Raiden-kun. At this point, he was fading in and out of consciousness. I'm so sorry I can't be here with you, Kabukimono. But, you go by the name Raiden Yudo now, don't you? I think it suits you, Yudo. You're doing really well, and I'm so proud of you. Don't give up just yet, okay? Your friends will be here to take care of you while I can't be here, so rest up for a bit. Niwa, he felt such a great longing and nostalgia, but also sadness and anger, but then again, maybe the amount of pain he was in was making him hallucinate. It must be that. I'll be fine, is all Yudo could muster out. It's 3-on-5. Todoroki states. But Kaken showed us the Mist Man's weak point. These are some brutal dudes, but with us supporting All Might, we can beat M back. Kirishima says determinedly. No. All Might objects, get out of here. Things wouldn't have gone so well if I hadn't just stepped in. And if it wasn't for Raiden-kun, you might have gotten injured. Todoroki states. All Might, you're bleeding, and I think your time's you, Midoriya protests, at the same time as Todoroki. Right you are, young Todoroki. So thanks for that. All Might clenched his fist. But fear not. Sit back and watch a pro get serious. Togata-kun. Nijire-chan. Amajiki-kun. Yudo called out during lunch one day, before the entrance exam. Oh. Yudo-kun. Hey. Miria waved, all three of them holding their lunch trays. They were about to sit down, with Amajiki already seated and shrinking in on himself to hide from other students. Yudo-kun, don't you normally help out lunch rush? Nijire asks curiously, tilting her head. But today I got some free time. Yuto nods, beaming. I just needed you guys' help. Huh. Is someone bothering you? Yuto-kun? Is something wrong? Oh, what is it? Don't worry. It's nothing bad, trust me. He waved a hand reassuringly. I just wanted to ask you guys something, that's all. Oh, phew. You scared me, Yuto-kun. Nijire sighed in relief. But seriously, if someone's bothering you, she trails off ominously. Ask away, Yuto-kun. We're all ears. Mirio smiled confidently. Why does Aizawa-san and Yamada-san put their mouths together sometimes? Yuto asks innocently. Unbeknownst to any of them at the moment, Yuto never once experienced romance, even for his long life of 500 years. However, the question revelation made everyone there and everyone eavesdropping gasp, jaws dropping, with their eyes bulging out of their sockets. Somewhere else in UA, both Aizawa and Hisashi sneezed. Notes. Eraser Mike is cute, okay? Sometimes, Yuto would make small, miniature doll versions of a friend or their idol for an occasion like a birthday or just as a show of friendship. For example, Aizawa Shota, Pro Hero Eraser Head. Aizawa was just napping one weekend on Problem Child's couch. It was fluffy and comfortable, and he stays close to Problem Child, so it's one of his favorite places to nap or sleep. It was a free day for him, which meant no patrols that night. It was only one day of rest, since he would have liked to go and save more people, but Nizu, Hisashi, and Namiri forced him and told him there were enough heroes to go around. He disagreed, but then Problem Child made those eyes at him. Wait, what? No, he didn't give in to those innocent, pure, kitten eyes. Never. He was a pro hero. And a strict teacher. He doesn't give in to doll eyes. I don't say puppy eyes, 'cause Skara is more like a kitten and Aizawa likes cats, 3 and also 'cause I have a fear of dogs, but I'm working on that fear right now. I want to rant about it though. Okay, maybe a little bit. But he was thinking, maybe it wasn't so bad after all. It was just one day, and he'll be going back into action tomorrow to help more people. Then, his great day becomes 1,000 times better when Problem Child walks in with an adorable, tiny doll version of him and gave it to him. No, he didn't cradle it in his hands every night and every time he went to sleep, no. That was ridiculous and very illogical. And Aizawa was definitely not illogical. Maybe sometimes. Yamada Hisashi, Pro Hero Present Mike and Kayama Namiri, Pro Hero Midnight. These two had basically the same reaction and they're not really major characters, so I just made theirs simple. Don't get me wrong, they're funny characters and I love writing their silly conversations, but not my favorite, that's all. But that doesn't mean I hate them. Really. Hisashi was hanging out with his most favorite people, Shota, Namiri, and the little listener. Namiri was having fun with her friends, Shota, Hisashi, and Yuto. While they were at a nearby cafe that the little listener Yuto liked, said boy reached into his sleeves and pulled out 2 small dolls, then offered it to them with a smile and, I made these for you, Hisashi-san, Namiri-san. 2 small dolls, that were made in the image of them. Hisashi stared at the doll that looked like him. Namiri squealed at the doll that looked like her. And then they both burst into tears and hugged, squeezed, the poor boy, very touched by the gift. Again, Shota was thankful that the Problem Child wasn't human and didn't need oxygen to survive. Midoriya Izuku, UA student. After Izuku and his mom drained up all the tears they cried at his acceptance into UA, he noticed Raiden reaching into his long sleeves. Izuku looked on curiously, wondering what he was doing. Then, he pulled out a small, intricate, and detailed doll. It was him, in a UA uniform. I wasn't only working on the recordings last week, Midoriya-kun. I already finished all of my share on Wednesday, and I spent the rest of the week making a gift to congratulate you. He smiled shyly, only having made these dolls for Shota and them, unsure how a friend his age would think. Do you like it? Izuku didn't know how he made his messy, curly hair so accurate, but he was so touched. He hadn't received any gifts from a friend in years. So, he did the most reasonable thing to do, and cried again. His mom, who was there to witness this as well, also cried, thus flooding the house again. Turned out Raiden made the doll washable too. How thoughtful of him. Yuto even made dolls for his other friends at UA, at some point, like the big 3. Soon enough though, he will make dolls for this year's Class 1A. But we'll get there later. Notes. Head. Canon. He was lying on his back, in a world of black. There were no walls, no ceiling, just a vast void of darkness. Someone looms over him, and he looks up. It was himself, wearing the strange clothes he first appeared with when he was found by Midoriya. The other him leans over his head, their eyes meet. They both stared at each other with blank gazes. The other him holds out a hand. So he took it. A yellow light began to shine. An image began forming in his head. But then suddenly, the other him let go when he barely got a glance of it. He looks elsewhere. He followed his gaze. It was a man. He only caught a glimpse. Dark blue hair. Strange clothes. Yellow star-shaped eyes. Izuku was getting worried. Well, more worried than he already is. The USJ attack was over, and there weren't too many injuries, save for 13, Raiden, Aizawa, himself and All Might. But maybe All Might didn't really count? Izuku was lying in a hospital bed in Recovery Girl's office since he broke his legs. Recovery Girl told him that he'll have to rest in bed for a while. At least his bed was in between Raiden's and All Might's. Raiden was breathing steadily, ever since he passed out after he took the hit for All Might that was meant for Kaken. That didn't make sense with how he worded it. Never mind. But since then, he hadn't shown any signs of waking up. He thought about the next problem. Kaken, Kirishima, Todoroki, and possibly other classmates saw Raiden's cracked skin. It couldn't be brushed off as a quirk, since Izuku lied to them. He really should have thought about it harder before opening his stupid mouth. He knew how Raiden would react to that if he said it out loud, and if he was awake. Don't blame yourself, Midoriya-kun. It's not your fault. No one could have predicted this would happen, so don't take it to heart. We'll just explain my origin to them, it's fine. He would have said for sure. Raiden was nice like that. The situation being what it was. Recovery Girl was talking. I can't scold you two this time. I think All Might starts. I've probably shortened my time limit again. I'll be lucky if I still get an hour a day. Then he sits up. All Might? What are you gonna do? Bad things happen. The door slides open. In comes, wait, isn't that the detective that interrogated Raiden when they first found him? Pardon me. He tips his hat. Long time no see, All Might. Oh, and Broccoli Kid. Broccoli? Tsukachi. Didn't know you were here. He spurts a small amount of blood in surprise. Oh, it's the detective. Izuku gasps softly. Not to rush you, but I'd like to ask about these villains, All Might. Wait. Hold on. First, are the students all right? And Eraserhead? And 13? Yep, that's All Might. Always worried about others first. Besides the Broccoli Kid, the students VE got nothing more than a few bumps and bruises. And the two teachers are out of danger, for now. If you three heroes hasn't put your lives on the line, the students wouldn't have made it out unscathed. The detective reassures. Izuku himself lets out a small sigh of relief. But, Broccoli? I see, but, you've got one thing wrong, Tsukachi. In this fight, the students put their lives on the line too. To be thrown into a real battle so young, and survive. Now these first years, know how scary the big bad world can be. Have you ever heard of such a class? Those foolish villains picked the wrong fight. Because the members of Class 1A are going to be mighty heroes indeed. I'm going to make sure of it. What a speech. Izuku notices some rustling on the bed next to him. He brushed it off as another patient. Wait. What? He whipped his head to see. Raiden. Awake. And sitting up. Yuto blinked open his eyes wearily, and heard All Might's voice. Because the members of Class 1A are going to be mighty heroes indeed. I'm going to make sure of it. He sits up, adjusting his eyes for a second. Raiden-kun. You're awake. He turns his head to look at Midoriya, and breaks into a smile. I know you've been worried about me, huh? Sorry about that. No. You shouldn't apologize. It's not your fault. You were just trying to protect All Might. Oh. Speaking of All Might. Is he okay? And your classmates? And Shota-san and 13. What about them? He asks worriedly. A chuckle comes from the bed next to Midoriya's. And he sees All Might in his other form and the detective. Not to worry, young Raiden. Oh. All Might. And detective. You're here too. Said detective nods. That's right. All Might will be fine, as will Eraserhead and 13. Other than Midoriya, everyone else is fine. Yuto visibly slumps in relief. Raiden-kun, is your arm feeling okay? Midoriya asks, looking at the bandages. Yuto moves his arm a bit, then twists it to an impossible angle, then returns it to normal. It doesn't hurt anymore. He states with a smile. That's great. Midoriya sweats. Everyone else seemed uncomfortable too. Yuto tilts his head in confusion, but doesn't comment. Raiden-kun. What? Oh, yeah, not human, but still. That's gonna haunt my nightmares. Classes were cancelled the next day, but they couldn't rest easy. Everyone. Morning homeroom's about to begin. Go to your seats. Ida shouts, standing at the podium stiffly. We're sitting. You're the only one standing up other than Raiden, but he doesn't count. The tape guy, Hantashiro, retorts. Unexpectedly, Aizawa opened the door, covered from head to toe in bandages, looking like a mummy. Morning. is all he says. You're back already, Aizawa-sensei? What an undeniable pro. The class exclaims as one. Shota-san. Don't strain yourself, Raiden says, worried. I'll be fine, problem child. Glad to see you doing well, sensei. Ida shouts, already in his seat as Aizawa wobbles over to the podium. If you can call that doing well, Uraraka sweat drops. My welfare isn't important. Because your fight is far from over. That statement makes everyone on edge and nervous. Our fight? Kaken repeats, more curious than angry. Don't tell me, Izuku starts thinking of bad outcomes. More villains. Mineta shrieks fearfully. UA Sports Festival is fast approaching. Raiden cheerfully announces in Aizawa's place, walking up to stand beside said teacher. That's so totally ordinary. The class gasps. Come on. We just had that villain attack. You sure about this? Someone asks. It's necessary. To demonstrate that UA's crisis management protocols are sound, that's the thinking apparently. Aizawa drawls. From what Nizu-san told me, compared to the past years at UA, there will be 5 times the amount of police. And, the sports festival is the best opportunity you'll get. Raiden continues for Aizawa. It's not an event that can be cancelled over a villain attack. You sure about that? Mineta asks shakily, it's just a stupid sports festival. What? Mineta-kun, are you telling me you've never seen UA's sports festival? Izuku asks, turning to look at him with wide eyes. Of course I have. That's not what I mean. He says uncertainly. It sounds like he's lying. Our sports festival is one of Japan's biggest events. Aizawa starts. The Olympics were once the world's sports festival. The whole country would be whipped into a frenzy over them. But as you know, that tradition has shrunk in scale to a shell of its former self, and as far as Japan's concerned, what's taken the place of the Olympics is the UA Sports Festival. He finishes. The nation's top heroes will all be watching, right? Yaoyorozu, how to spell her name, speaks up. They'll be there as scouts. I know that already, Mineta mumbles. They'll be looking to hire us as sidekicks after we graduate. That's how it's done. Denki says, pointing to himself. And a lot of those sidekicks never manage to go solo. They're sidekicks forever. Jiro mentions. That'll be you, Kaminari, you dunce. TCH. Naturally, you'll gain valuable experience and popularity if you're picked up by a big-name hero. Aizawa says. But your time is limited. Show the pros what you're made of here, and you'll make futures for yourselves. This happens once a year, so you've got 3 chances. If you're hoping to become a hero, this is an event you can't miss. It's lunchtime, 4th PRD Modern Lit is over. The bell sounds. The class chatters about the sports festival in many groups. Everyone's so excited, Yuto hears Midoriya remark. And you aren't? Ida inquiries, then he tenses and does a weird thing with his arms. This is our chance to add our names to the ranks of heroes. Of course we're in high spirits. You got a funny way of showing it, Ida. Weird. Tsuyu croaks. Yeah, I get that. But, Deku-kun. Ida-kun. Raiden-kun, Uraraka speaks up, getting their attention. Uraraka's face is overshadowed, then she looks up showing a serious and determined expression. At this sports festival, let's do our best. What happened to your face, Uraraka-chan? They exclaim. What the? You're not looking very Uraraka, Uraraka-chan. Mina says. Maybe it's that whatever Mineta was going to say, it was cut off when Tsuyu slapped him with her tongue. Yuto tilts his head in confusion, and some of the students look at him fondly. Everyone. I'm gonna crush this. Uraraka shouts, very determined, as she pumps a fist up. Yeah, but talk about inconsistent characterization. Kirishima says, also pumping a fist along with others while sweating nervously. They were walking down the stairs to go to lunch, and Midoriya asks Uraraka why she wants to be a hero. Money? You want to be a hero for the money? Midoriya shrieks, surprised. Ultimately, yeah. Uraraka says, looking bashful. Sorry. I know it seems base, and really embarrassing, considering Ida-kun's noble motivations and all. She cups her face in shame. But why? There's nothing wrong with seeking a more comfortable lifestyle. Ida says, again making weird motions. Yeah, just a little unexpected. I think it's fine. Yuto speaks up, beaming. You need money to buy things, don't you? How are you going to get food or buy a house? And you can do it while saving people too. So it's okay. I don't think you should be embarrassed at all. Students that pass by awe at this. Well, it's just that my family runs a construction company, but business is bad. We're poorer than poor. She adds shakily, don't mention that to anyone, okay? The boys make identical thinking poses. Construction. If you get permission to use it, wouldn't your quirk help cut costs, Uraraka-chan? Midoriya asks. Right? That's what I said to Dad way back. But, they told me to follow my own dreams. So I'm gonna be a hero. I'll make that money, so that my mom and dad can have easier lives. She says, set on her goal. Uraraka-chan. Bravo. Ida claps. Oh. Midoriya, kid. Found you. All Might appears, sliding around the corner. Everyone jolts at the sudden appearance. Wanna eat lunch with me? He asks, holding up a bento. Like a schoolgirl. Uraraka laughs. Sure. So Yudo followed Ida and Uraraka to lunch and went to help lunch rush. After school, Yudo hears lots of chatter outside. They slide open the door to find a mass of people there. What's going on? Uraraka shouts. No way out. What are they here for? Mineta asks. Scoping out the competition, duh, small fry. Bakugo retorts. 'Cause we're the kids who survived a villain attack. Makes sense they'd want to look before the sports festival. No point though. Move aside, extras. Can we please not resort to calling those we don't even know extras? Ida shouts. It's true. We came to get a look, but you sure are modest. Are all the kids in the hero course like this one? A student speaks up. Everyone behind Bakugo shakes their heads frantically. Yudo blinks. Wait, isn't that? Gotta say, I'm a little disillusioned if this is what you're offering. Those of us who didn't make the hero course are stuck in general studies and other tracks. There are quite a few of us. Did you know that? It's you. Shinsukuin. Yudo exclaims, smiling. Everyone in the crowd looks at him and coos at his adorable smile. I know you did your best, but you didn't get into the hero course. That's okay. I gotta say though, your quirk will be so useful as a hero. Maybe if you do well in the sports festival, you can get a spot. Shinso looks at him, blinking, before recognizing him. Oh, aren't you the one who was in my letter? Hey. What are you doing with them? I'm just staying with my friends. Shinsukuin, I promise you that everyone in this class is super nice. Say, let's sit at lunch together next time. I'll make some shimichizuki for you. He beams. Everyone could literally see the angel wings sprouting out his back and the halo that appears above his head. Add some light that shines behind him too. Wait, isn't his title at UA God? A random student speaks up in the silence of awe. Huh. Wait, what's his name? Another student gasps. Then everyone proceeds to swarm him. Izuku and the rest of Class 1A watches as the mob of students gather around Raiden. Everyone was still reeling about his title. G-God? Midoriya stutters, shocked. No fair. He's getting all the girls. But I'm thinking about my sexuality after that smile, Mineta mumbles. Wait, there's an opening. Uraraka points at a gap. Bakugo shoves his way out. 2 weeks were spent training, and Yudo himself also trained with his ability. One who saw him training could safely say that he was very strong, being able to cut through layers upon layers of cement with a single wind blade. Very strong. However, he did spend some time with Shinso, and when Midoriya was free, they would occasionally go out to that one cafe, and Shinso fell in love with the coffee there. It seems that Shinso and Midoriya became friends too, so that's great. On the day of the sports festival, Yudo was with Hisashi and Shota as commentary. It's UA's sports festival. The one time each year, when our fledgling heroes compete in a ruthless grand battle. First up, you know who I'm talking about. The miraculous rising stars who brushed off a villain attack with their steely willpower. The first years of the hero course. It's Class A. Hisashi announces. He watched as Class 1A walked out, and they were met with cheers. Following Class B, it's Classes C, D, and E of General Studies. And here come the support course classes, F, G, and H. And the business course, I, J, and K. Hisashi continues, albeit less enthusiastically. Don't look down on them just because they're not in the hero course. The support course and business course are also very important to a hero career. And general studies are here for an education for their future. Let's cheer them on as well. Yudo encourages, and the effect was immediate as everyone started to cheer more louder for the other courses. Namuri cracked her whip to get everyone's attention. Now for the athlete's oath. She shouts. The students chatter, and she cracks her whip again. Pipe down. Your student representative is, from Class 1A, Katsuki Bakugo. Bakugo walks up onto the platform that Namuri was standing on with his hands in his pockets. The athlete's oath, make no mistake about it. I'm gonna take first place. He immediately met with jeers and insults. Now, without any delay, let's get the first event started. Namuri turns to the huge screen behind her. These are the qualifiers. It's in this stage that so many are sent home crying every year. And the fateful first event this year is this. It lands on obstacle course race. It's a race between every member of all 11 classes. The course is a 4-kilometer lap around the stadium itself. Our school preaches freedom in all things. She chuckles evilly, but Yudo knows she's only acting for drama and her image. So as long as you don't go off the course, anything is fair game. Racers, to your positions. All the students stand at the gate, and 3 lights on it start counting down. Start. Then everyone starts squishing each other to get through, since the gate narrow. Todoroki uses his ice to get past them, freezing a few students' legs while he's at it. Mummy man, are you ready for our live coverage and commentary? Hisashi asks Shota back where they are, hyped. Not voluntarily, Shota grumbles. They watch as many other students follow behind Todoroki, including all of Class 1A. Eventually, they got to the first obstacle. Every obstacle course needs obstacles. Starting with, the first barrier. Robo Inferno. Hisashi announces. Todoroki freezes many of them, including the one in his way. After he gets through, other students attempted to use it to their advantage, but the frozen robots fall over and crash. One, as Todoroki. Busting through and sabotaging the others in one move. This guy's cold. Amazing. He's way ahead of the pack. Almost feels unfair. The rest of the race goes by, as Midoriya surprises everyone by taking first place, when they thought he wouldn't be able to. Yudo was expecting it though, and he was proud of his friend. Racers cross the finish line one after the other. We'll go over the standings later, so catch your breath for now. After a small while for the students to rest, Namuri called out to announce the next event. The top 42 from this qualifying round will move on. But for those who place lower, don't worry. We've got another way for you to show your stuff. And now the main selection really begins. The press corps going to be jumping out of their seats, so give it all you've got. Now, on to the second event. I already know what it is, of course, dying in suspense. Next up is this. The screen shows cavalry battle. Kia sneezes. Yudo decides to take the liberty of explaining it. Students will form teams of 2 to 4 each and get into a horse-and rider formation on their own. The rules are basically the same for a normal cavalry battle. Steal your opponent's headbands while keeping your own, but with an exception. He trails off to let Namuri finish it. Each of you has been assigned a point value based on your ranking in the last event. The students chatter amongst themselves, and Namuri cracks her whip to silence them. I'm about to explain it, so just shut up already. Anyway, yes. And your individual point values start at 5, at the bottom. So the student who took 42nd place is worth 5 points, 41st is worth 10, get it? But, our first place participant is worth 10 million points. All eyes went to Midoriya. The higher-ranked students are the ones to aim for. This survival game is a chance for a comeback. It's anyone's game. She stops for a moment to catch her breath. The match will last 15 minutes. Any headbands you grab must be worn around the neck or higher. But the more headbands you've got, the harder they'll be to manage. Most importantly, even if your headband is taken, and even if your horse formation is broken, it's not over till it's over. The students talk among themselves. Quirks are allowed, so it'll be a brutal battle. However, it's still a cavalry battle. Maliciously attacking another team with the intent of making them fall will get you a red card. And that means you're out of the game. You've got 15 minutes. Time to form your teams. They all start breaking up, and it seems that Midoriya's mop of green hair is all alone. Until Uraraka, it seems, approached. Midoriya's tears came out like a water hose and splashed all over Uraraka comically. They all began to actually form their teams instead of clutters, and when the 15 minutes were over, Namuri called out as she stretched. Your 15 minutes are up. Time to get started. Some students still chatted and murmured. Hey, wake up, Eraser. They've had their time to form teams and strategize. And now all 12 teams are lined up and ready to move. Hisashi speaks into the mic. Interesting. The teams they've come up with. Is all Shota says. It seems that Midoriya was teamed up with Uraraka, Tokoyami, and a support course student, Hatsume. Let's get a battle cry. Here comes the starting signal. Blood begets blood in the UA Grand Match. The second event was about to start. The teams gather around in clutters, as they discuss their plans and technique for the upcoming event. Formed your teams? Made your plans? Too bad if you haven't. Hisashi screams into the mic. Yudo covers his mechanical ears, smiling, being used to it by now. Meanwhile Shota just looks so done. Here we go. The countdown to this brutal battle royal. He lets Yudo do the countdown, which said puppet happily obliges. 3. Teams all around the battleground steady themselves. 2. The crowd joins in on the countdown. 1. Everyone is ready. Start. Immediately, they all dash to Midoriya. Yuto hopes he can survive this one. He grimaces. In fourth, Team Midoriya. Yuto announces, relieved as he sighs after. Hisashi continues the rest, as Yuto watches Midoriya cry a fountain, literally. His feet even get indented into the ground from the pressure. We'll proceed to the afternoon portion after a 1-hour lunch break. See you then. Hisashi says, then later adds, more quietly to them, hey. Erase her head. God. Wanna grab some food? His voice from the intercom becomes quieter and quieter as he and Shota leave the room, more like Hisashi pushing and pulling Shota, while Yuto quickly rushes back and turns off the mic. Hisashi only calls them by their code names so their real names aren't exposed, but Yuto's didn't really matter. My child, he wants everyone to know and love you, even though they already do, and yes, his official code name is God. I'm taking a nap. Shota retorts. What dash? Hisashi exclaims. But Shota-san. You need to eat at least something. Yuto emphasizes something. Shota seems to pause for a moment before sighing defeatedly. Fine, problem child. But only if you make it. What dash? Hisashi exclaims again. Sure. I'll make some shimichizuki for everyone. Yuto notices that Hisashi is drooling at the thought of his cooking. Is it really that good? Izuku fidgeted nervously under Todoroki's gaze. The dual-haired boy had dragged him to one of the small exits or entrances of the huge stadium, and now he was just staring at him. You wanted to talk? He starts, unsure and nervous. About what? The dining hall will be packed if we don't hurry. Especially if Raiden-kun's going to be there and cook. Todoroki just continued glaring at him. Izuku gulped. This guy's nothing like Kaken. A much colder sort of intimidation. You overwhelmed me. So much so that I broke my own pledge. Todoroki finally speaks. But it only does so much to calm him. It'd have been to his advantage, but he didn't use it. That left side of his. Ida-kun, Kaminari-kun, Yayorozu-chan, Tokoyami-kun, Uraraka-chan, none of them felt it. In that last instant, I was the only one feeling that pressure. I experienced All Might's true power up close, remember? Izuku felt his heart beginning to beat quicker. So, what are you saying? I felt the same pressure coming from you. So, oh holy All Might, he's gonna figure it out. Are you All Might's secret love child or something? Huh. While that thought would be nice, to be All Might's son. Wait, no, huh? He thinks I might be All Might's son? Well, it might be reasonable, but it's so weird. Nah. I mean, I'm denying that, but obviously, if I really were his kid, I'd try to deny it, so I realize I don't sound very convincing here. But, no, that's not it, he starts muttering, before he stops himself. So, let me ask you, then. Why would you think that I? No, that's not it. Interesting way to phrase it. There's definitely something you're hiding. I'm sure of it. You know, my father is Endeavor. That shook Izuku. The second greatest hero of all time. Todoroki continued. So if you're somehow connected to the #1 guy, then all the more reason for me to crush you. Huh? What is he trying to say? My father. He's a powerful BSTRD who only thinks of becoming stronger. Yeah, he's gone all out to make a name for himself as a hero, but he's always seen that living legend, All Might, as a roadblock and an eyesore. My father could never beat All Might on his own. So he came up with another plan. What's this about, Todoroki-kun? Why are you telling me this? Izuku asks shakily, fearing the worst at this point. Quirk marriages. You've heard of them, right? They started becoming a problem. During the second or third generation after quirks appeared. Strong individuals would choose a partner and force them into marriage for the sole purpose of passing on a strengthened version of their quirk. Those earlier generations were lacking in ethics. With his wealth and fame, my father made my mother's family agree to the marriage. All to get his hands on her quirk. Raising me as a hero who could exceed All Might, just to fulfill his own ambitions. I hate it. Being no more than a tool, a puppet, for that human garbage. He lifted a hand to cover the left side of his face. As I remember it, Mom was always crying. I can't stand to see that left side of yours. She said, before throwing scalding water in my face. Midoriya shuddered. In short, not using my left side against you was my revenge on him. Never using my rotten father's quirk. No, by rising to the top without using it. I'll have denied him everything. Yuto was holding a bowl of katsudon as he looked around the halls of the stadium. Ida and Uraraka told him that Midoriya disappeared off. So he was going to go look for him and deliver the katsudon. He was told that Midoriya's favorite food was katsudon, so he'll be making it for him from now on. Well, if he asks for something else one day, then that's fine too. He stopped when he saw Bakugo standing by the wall, near one of the exits, or was it an entrance, looking a bit disturbed and surprised. Yuto was about to greet him cheerfully when Bakugo noticed him and gestured him to be quiet with an index finger to his lip and a threatening glare. Yuto, not bothered by the look, just smiled and nodded, then walked over to stand beside him. Your connection with All Might, he heard Todoroki's voice coming from the opening around the corner. And also some footsteps. Keep it to yourself if you want. Either way, I'll rise above you with just my right side. Sorry for wasting your time. After a moment of silence, footsteps sounded again but stopped as quick as it came, and Midoriya's voice spoke up. I've always had help. No matter the situation. I've only come this far because other people helped me. The wind blew. All Might. I want to be like him. For that, I have to become the strongest. Might seem like a lame motivation compared to yours. But I'm not gonna lose. All the people who've helped me. That's how I'll repay them. Let me return you declaration of war with my own. I'm gonna beat you. More silence for a moment. Alright. But there's another thing I want to talk to you about. Wow. Way to brush aside Midoriya's moment. About Raiden-kun, was it? I gotta ask. What was that cracked arm all about? Wasn't his quirk enhanced senses? Yuto opened his mouth to answer himself, but Bakugo slapped a hand over his mouth before he could get a sound out. He looked at him curiously, then realized that if he said something now, here, then Bakugo would get caught. Ahaha, sneaky boy. Eavesdropping isn't good. But what did he hear just now, when Yuto wasn't here? Wait. Eavesdropping isn't good. What was Yuto doing here? Yuto struggled a bit, but Bakugo held him still. Yuto could easily break free right now, but if he did, he might hurt Bakugo, and he didn't want that. So he stopped and resigned to his fate with a dramatic muffled sigh. Maybe Namiri-san and Hizashi-san are rubbing off on him. Midoriya faltered for a moment. It's not my place to tell. I know Raiden-kun enough that he'd tell you the truth if he was here. To be honest. Sometimes I think he's too trusting. Too kind. But maybe that's a good thing. He always forgives someone, no matter what they did, and he wouldn't hurt a fly. So I can assure you it isn't anything bad or dangerous. Treat him like any other person. Midoriya. Thank you. I think you should ask him yourself. Midoriya finishes. Bakugo gave him a look, and he knew Shota long enough to get the gist. Bakugo's look wasn't that different. You can go, but pretend I wasn't here. Yuto can do that. So he nodded, even though it was a little hard, being held in place and all, and he was released. He walked a few meters back, and purposely made footsteps. Midoriya-kun? He called. Uraraka-chan and Ida-kun said they couldn't find you. Are you here? He turned around the corner, looking like he was just glancing around, making sure he didn't look at Bakugo, and smiled when he saw Midoriya. Oh, there you are. I made you some katsudon. And Todoroki-kun. Sorry, I didn't realize you were here too, or else I would have made some soba. I noticed you mainly get soba at lunch, is it your favorite food? The smile was genuine, and before he knew it, he stopped acting. Speak of the devil. Wait no, angel. Todoroki remarks. Or God. He mutters. Oh, Raiden-kun. I think we've known each other long enough now, Midoriya-kun. You can call me Yuto. Okay, then call me Izuku. Anyway, about what happened at the USJ. Oh, that? It's okay, Izuku, you can tell him. He'll know anyway when he's a second year. Or do you want me to tell him instead? That's fine too. Midoriya, in Yuto's POV I'll still call him Midoriya, so it's easier to know whose POV it is. Likewise for Broccoli Boys and probably future POVs, gave Todoroki a look he couldn't decipher. It was, see? Very kind look, and turned back to him. If you say it's okay, then I'll tell him. Personally I think stories can sound a little weird when the actual person is retelling it sometimes. It feels like some sort of grand secret, which it probably is, that you're about to tell me. You might want to sit down for this, Todoroki-kun. So you're saying that he's basically a robot you found washed up on the beach that you were cleaning, then he wakes up and before the entrance exam you two became friends? Todoroki summarizes. Well, I wouldn't say robot. But you're pretty much right? Midoriya stammers. That's pretty much about it, I guess. But maybe calling me a robot is a little rude. Yuto says, a bit hurt. Was he really a robot? From the cartoons Hizashi and him watched before, most robots are unfeeling and or evil. Oh no, was he an evil one? Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Todoroki immediately apologizes. It's okay. Completely forgiven. He wonders how Bakugo will take this. Please don't tell anyone yet, until your classmates and the other first years are in their second year. But Kirishima-kun deserves to know too, so you can tell him. Yuto says, hoping Bakugo will hear it too. But, also remember to tell him not to tell anyone yet too. Midoriya pipes up. Todoroki just stares at them blankly, and nods, before retreating. He and Midoriya looked at each other. Well, that happened. ... Izuku, the Katsudon's going to get cold. Oh. Right. Sorry, and thanks, Yuto. You didn't have to. Yuto and Shinso had exchanged numbers at the end of school that day, when Shinso met him in person for the first time, and they've been in contact ever since. Yuto asked if he wanted to go to his favorite cafe together, and Shinso agreed, albeit a bit shyly. The moment Shinso got a taste of the coffee there, he ascended. Needless to say, he went to that cafe regularly from then on. Shinso was quite surprised when he found out Yuto liked tea, especially bitter tea. For such a sweet guy, you really like bitter things, was what he said. Yuto smiled sheepishly at that. After spending more time with Shinso, he really noticed the similarities between him and Shota, so he introduced Shinso to Shota. Shota ended up training Shinso personally. Then Midoriya started joining them on their hangouts, and Midoriya had a whole mutterstorm about Shinsu's amazing quirk. Eventually they got to the topic of quirk discrimination in their chat. Shinso was evidently shocked when he learned that Midoriya manifested his quirk during the entrance exam, but also to the fact that he took the exam thinking he was quirkless, but not quite. Then he shook his head with a smile and laughed. You're crazy, he had said, but not unkindly. Midoriya rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. They bonded quite well. They turned out to be good friends, and Yuto was very happy about that. Notes. What? I like friendship scenes. Yuto-chan? Nijire called with her hands cupped around her mouth, looking around the more forest-like area of the UA campus. Behind her trailed Amajiki, slouched and hands in his pockets, along with a blissfully smiling and marching Mirio, also calling for the puppet. Yuto-kun! Mirio shouted. Yuto-chan! Nijire once again yelled. You dash! Guys, if it were anyone else, they wouldn't have heard Amajiki's mumble. What is it? Nijire questioned. He's over there, but, be quiet. Amajiki nodded his head to a tree more further in the cluster. By the roots, his back against the trunk, was a sleeping Yuto, and a chirping yellow and gray finch on his head. Nijire made a muffled squeal, covering her mouth with her hands. Mirio smiled widely, while Amajiki smiled more shyly. Way to go, Tamaki. It was your sharp eyes that spotted him. The sun whispered his praise. It's not that impressive. The moon dismissed. Notes. The end may have hinted at a ship. Don't look at me, I dash. Yes, this was referencing that one Wanderer EP. I got this idea while I was scrolling through my phone, saw a video with Scara and that finch on his head, and I was like, oh yeah, I could have done that. So here it is. Lunch break is over. Before we get to the final event, I've got good news for all those out running. Hizashi starts. This is still a sports festival, so we've prepared a recreational activity for all participants. We even shipped in cheerleaders from America to get you pumped up. There they were, dancing and cheering with odd-looking faces. What's this? What are they doing? Shota murmurs. Isn't that Class 1, as girls? Yuto asks, confused. Class 1, as female students. They were wearing the cheerleader uniforms. Looking. Definitely not happy. The flashes from the crowd began to increase for some reason. Class A? Why? Hizashi exclaimed. Yuto didn't get it. At all. Why were they wearing it? Why didn't they look happy? Why was everyone suddenly taking so many pictures? Sometimes Yuto thinks that humans can be weird. It seems that Toru Hagakure, the girl with the invisible quirk, is having fun though. Hope everyone enjoys this little recreational competition. Hizashi says, a bit confused himself, but shrugs it off. Once that's over, we're on to the final event. Between the 16 members of the 4 winning teams. Hizashi backs away from the mic, letting Yuto announce it. We'll have a formal tournament. A series of one-on-one battles. Yuto cheerfully says into the mic. Hizashi playfully ruffles his hair with a grin. The matchups will be decided by drawing lots. Namuri says, holding up a small box. Once that's settled, we'll move on to the festivities and then the tournament itself. It's up to each of you 16 finalists whether or not you participate in the fun. I expect some of you would rather take a breather and save your strength. Now, let's start with the first place team. A student raises his hand. Excuse me. I'd like to drop out. It's Ojiro Mashireo, the tail guy. Everyone seems surprised. From their place, Yudo and them couldn't really hear them unless they spoke louder. I'm not being lazy. We have a strange turn of events. What will the coordinator, Midnight, decide? Namuri cracks her whip. I like it. She shouts with a wide smile. Shota and Ojiro have officially withdrawn. Yudo decides he'll ask Midoriya what that was about later. Replacing those two will be members of Team Kendo, which took fifth. It seems that Team Kendo's leader, Kendo herself, objects and lets two other people in her class take the place instead. They seem quite moved. So be it. Tetsu, his name is making my fingers go, wait what, and Shiozaki bring us back up to 16 competitors. And here are the matchups. It seems that Midoriya and Shinso are up first. Now let's set aside the tournament for the time being. And get on with the thrill-a-minute festivities. But now it's time for the one-on-one tournament. It's time for Midoriya's match. You've only got yourself to rely on. Even if you're not a hero, this saying holds true. You know it. Spirit, technique, strength, wisdom and knowledge. Use them all and show us your best. Wisdom and knowledge? Aren't those two more or less the same thing? Wisdom. The first match. Making a weird face despite his excellent performance, it's Midoriya Izuku, from the hero course. Versus. Sorry, but this guy hasn't really done anything to stand out yet. It's Shinso Hitoshi, from general studies. They both stepped up to the platform from the opposite ends. The rules are simple. Win by knocking your opponent out of the ring, immobilizing them or getting them to say, I give up. Bring the pain. We've got our good old recovery girl on standby. And fight dirty if you must. Ethics have no meaning here. Cementos forms a cement chair, looking more like a throne. Well, of course, going for the kill is a no-no. You'll be disqualified. Because a true hero's fists fly only when in pursuit of villains. Now let's get this thing started. Izuku knew Shinso, he wanted to win to get into the hero course, but he had to win. He had to get through to Todoroki. Sorry Shinso. Well, no hard feelings, right, Midoriya? Shinso drawled. Yeah. The match hasn't started just yet, so Shinso won't be using his quirk. But he'll have to be careful when it does start. Ready i.e. Start. Mike yells into the mic. So, I made your classmate step out, huh? Sorry, but I'm not really sorry. Survival of the fittest, yeah? Izuku stayed wisely silent. Well? Gonna say anything? Silence. You know, it's kinda rude not to reply. Silence. That classmate of yours. He's kinda dumb to forfeit, don't you think? I mean, just 'cause he didn't really do much. Midoriya tried to tune Shinso out, and he must have noticed. Shinso sighed. Figures, you won't be replying. They circle each other. Izuku hopes he has enough of a guilty face for Shinso to understand. He has to get to Todoroki. Izuku dashes forward, aiming to push Shinso out of the ring so he won't have hurt him too much. Shinso clearly refused to go down, so he shoved back, locking them in close quarters. Help, how do I write fighting scenes? Yudo looked uncomfortable. He knew that it was only a tournament and there wasn't any real fighting with ill intentions, but it hurt him to see his friends fighting each other. He felt like he couldn't bear watching them fight, so he turned away and clenched his eyes shut. Hisashi and Shota must have noticed, since Hisashi put a hand on his shoulder, while Shota moved closer to him. Yudo smiles gratefully at them. Eventually, Midoriya won the match. Shinso put up a good fight, even while trying to get Midoriya to respond by taunting him. Midoriya must be very determined. Midoriya and Shinso shook hands, earning a dramatic shout of, "What great sportsmanship!" from Hisashi, and left the arena. After a few minutes, it was time for the next match. The wait is over. Moving on. There they are. The cream of the crop. Yet this guy somehow still as plain as they come. Zero Hanta of the hero course. Versus the best of the best. Strongest of the strong. Todoroki Shoto, also of the hero course. Hisashi quips. Start. He went overboard. He made a massive glacier that covered half the stadium. For some reason, it made him think of something, but he can't quite place it. A woman, bitter and angry at the world, burning and freezing everything around her, turned to ashes by. After they thought it out, it was time for the next match. Then the next. And the next, until the first round was over. Yudo excused himself and left to find Midoriya and hopefully Shinso. But just as he was about to leave, Shota spoke up. You don't have to stay here, you know. It's always just gonna be Hisashi speaking anyway. Go and stay with Midoriya. If it's okay, then sure. Of course it's okay, little listener. You have a choice, you know. Hee, then thanks, Hisashi-san, Shota-san. See you. He leaves, waving, as he closes the door. He finds the spectating area of Class 1A, and he stands by a random seat. Everyone welcomes him. Hey, Raiden-kun. Yo, it's Raiden. Welcome, Raiden-chan, Karo. Raiden. My man. Hey, everyone. He replies. You can sit down in Midoriya-kun's seat for now. Yaoyorozu says, gesturing to the mentioned seat. Yuto nods gratefully. Okay, thanks. The match between Midoriya and Todoroki starts. Yuto thinks about the confrontation between them, and he wonders what exactly happened. Uraraka arrives, and she sits beside Ida. Have they started yet? I have to see this. Her eyes are swollen. Were you blinded? Hurry up and go see Recovery Girl. Ida shouts, concerned. She rubs her eyes. I did already. This is from something else. Something else? You're not having the best of days. Don't regret your loss, just learn from it and move on. Tokoyami says. Right. But how's Deku gonna deal with the ice? Maybe he'll be able to smash it apart? Yuto wonders out loud. Oh, Raiden-kun. Sorry, I didn't realize you were here. Ah, it's okay. They turn their attention back to the match. Both of these competitors have won top marks in this festival so far. But there's only room for one of these greats in the ring. It's Todoroki versus Midoriya. Hisashi shouts enthusiastically. He must be eager to see how this plays out, too. Start. Todoroki starts with a smaller glacier than last time, and Midoriya actually does smash through it by flicking his finger. It makes a wave of cold air wash over the audience. Whoa! So cold. Many exclaim at once. Whoa! He smashed through. Class 1A shivered beside him, while Yuto just continues watching with rapt attention. Todoroki sends another wave of ice at Midoriya. And he smashed it again. Oh boy. Todoroki won. And he used his fire. Midoriya. He's really such a kind person. He saved Todoroki. But he got hurt pretty badly, so they're going to go visit him. Don't like it. Not one bit. You're overdoing it. You and this boy. So you'd better not praise him for it. He hears Recovery Girl's muffled voice. They burst open the door. Deku-kun. Midoriya-kun. Izuku. Yagi was here, and he spit out a bit of blood in surprise. Guys. But the next match. Midoriya croaked. He sounded like Tsuyu. That scared the heck out of me. Yagi muttered, wiping away the blood on his chin with a hand on his chest. Ah? Hello, nice to meet you. Uraraka greets Yagi, and Yuto silently panics. Thankfully, she doesn't seem to think about it much further. Ida points a thumb to behind him. The arena was mostly destroyed, so there's a break while it's being repaired. Ida explains. We came 'cause we were worried. Uraraka adds. That was scary as hell, Midoriya. No pro's gonna want to hire you. Mineta says with a distraught expression while pointing a finger at Midoriya. Tsuyu slaps him with her tongue. Can't say I like your rubbing salt in the wound style, Karo. Tsuyu remarks. You know I'm right though. Mineta retorts. Pipe down. It's fine to worry, but he's about to have surgery. Recovery says as she shoos them all out the door. Wha surgery? They all shriek, while Yuto seems to zone out, thinking of. While he's thinking, he gets dragged by the group back to their sitting area, completely missing the small whispers between Yagi and Midoriya and Recovery Girl's words as they were ushered out. He kept silent and unaware of his surroundings for a long while, even missing Bakugo and Kirishima's fight, and Todoroki and Ida's. He only snapped out of his trance when Midoriya asked if he was okay during a small break. Nah, Yuto. Are you okay? You've zoned out for quite a while now. And it caught everyone else's attention too. Raiden-kun? Is something wrong? Yeah, you were pretty quiet the entire time. Oh. Sorry, I was thinking for a while, huh? I'm okay. Thanks. Everyone sagged with relief and smiles. Okay, if you say so. Phew. In the end, Bakugo won. And Yuto learned that his name wasn't Kaken but instead Katsuki. It would have been pretty embarrassing if he accidentally called him his wrong name. But then why does Midoriya call him Kaken? Ah, and something happened to Ida's brother, so he was called away. He hopes that his brother will be okay. But All Might saying, thank you, instead of plus ultra was hilarious. In light of the festival. You'll have tomorrow and the next day off. Shota announces. Scouting reports and such from the other pros will be waiting for you here after the break. So look forward to that as you enjoy your time off. So for the next 2 days, he stayed in his house, thinking and humming. Soon enough, Shota, Hisashi and Namiri came, like usual. He didn't really get why they liked to come to his house so much, but he stops his thinking and spends his time like normal. They watched TV, had conversations about recent patrols, cooked. But sometimes he couldn't help but zone out and think about his weird dreams, especially the one he had not too long ago. When he opened his eyes, he was somewhere completely different. It was a field with, basically the plants in the Divine Will story teaser, where he first meets the boy, I dunno what they're called, and there was small, shabby wooden house not too far. He also noticed he was wearing some different clothes. He had some white robes with light purple undertones, and they were soft and comfortable. He had a dark purple veil, with intricate and detailed flower patterns at the bottom. And what really caught his interest was the golden feather he had. It was identical to the one he wears in real life, but it was attached to black and red strings with a small ball of cotton. He looked around, confused, and approached the house. He politely knocked on the door, and a small boy opened it with a smile. He registers the boy as someone he knows and cares about, but he doesn't know why. And it further confuses him when the boy's smile widens. Kabukimono, you're back. He shouts happily, and hugs his legs. Yuto was confused, but his body moved before he could think, and he patted the boy's head with a gentle smile. The boy releases his hold on Yuto, and beams at him. I've missed you so much. Hey, can we eat some roasted lavender melons? I don't know why, but when you do it, it always tastes so good. Ah, wait, I know why. It's 'cause you're really special. The sincere praises the boy gives him almost makes him want to cry, and he doesn't know why. He cooked a lot for others and got lots of compliments. But why does he feel tears prick at his eyes when the boy talks? In the end, he couldn't muster up the courage to ask the boy who he was, given the boy's familiarity with him, so he just went along with whatever the boy wanted to do. Yuto-chan, is everything alright? That frown on your face doesn't suit you, you know? Namuri asks, waving a hand in his face. Yuto didn't even realize he was frowning, and sheepishly scratched his neck with an equally sheepish grin. Ah, I didn't realize. But I'm fine, don't worry, Namuri-san. He reassures. Okay, if you say so. That night, when he slept, he had another strange dream. He was wearing the same clothes again, in the dream he had with the boy. But he was somewhere different. A forge? He didn't quite know, but he wandered around. He arrived at a specific forge, and he has a feeling of déjà vu. He looks around, and he notices Niwa approaching him with his warm smile. Niwa walks past him, into the forge. Come here, Kabukimono. Yuto does so, and Niwa shows him how to make a blade. Kabukimono. That's what the boy called him. Again, Yuto couldn't muster up the will to ask him who he really was, for a feeling he didn't understand. Then, when Niwa turned to him with a melancholic smile, he felt something in his chest. Yuto. Please remember. Yuto blinked once, and the scene before him was gone in the blink of an eye, literally, becoming a vast void of black. His artificial eyes immediately adjusted to the sudden darkness, and he looked around. When he turned around again, a man stood in front of him. Yuto startled, and blinked multiple times. The man had dark blue hair, and yellow star-shaped eyes. He had dark skin, and he was wearing strange robes, with some kind of star symbol on his chest. Ah, hello? Yuto tentatively greets. Who are? You are not meant to be seeing those things. The man says, in a stern and almost robotic voice. Wah ha. What do you? You have a new life now. Leave behind the last one. When Yuto blinked again, he was on his bed. When he looked at his clock, he realized it was 1:37 a.m. He didn't sleep after that. Yuto waited by the gate patiently for Midoriya. It was raining, but that's okay. Yuto liked the smell of rain. He had kept those strange clothes he had been wearing before he woke up. They had to be the clothes that his creator gave him, right? It would be such a waste of material to just throw it away too. And the hat was big and pretty, and he felt a kind of connection to it. So he was wearing the hat, and it did a pretty good job of keeping him dry. Maybe I'll wear this from now on. He watched as other students passed by, umbrellas in hand, gasp look. Umbrellas, and finally he saw Midoriya coming. And he also noticed Ida running behind Midoriya in a poncho, what I assume is like a raincoat, and a pair of rain boots. Just as Midoriya opened his mouth to greet Yuto, Ida called out, his steps making small splashes. Yuto worries he might slip. This is no time for an idle stroll. It made Midoriya jolt. We'll be late. Good morning, Midoriya-kun, Raiden-kun. Ah, Ida-kun, be careful not to slip. Yuto replies. A pea poncho and rain boots. Midoriya exclaimed, then asked, late? But we've got 5 minutes before the first bell. He started running a bit, so Yuto jogged alongside them. The students of UA make it a point to arrive 10 minutes early. When they inside to the entrance, and putting their shoes in their shoe lockers, Yuto just took his hat off while pouring the rain that collected inside the indents out of it right outside the doors then came back in. Ida told Midoriya, you needn't worry about my brother. I apologize if he or I caused you any undue concern. Midoriya shook off the last bits of rain he could get off his umbrella, but stayed silent as he looked at Ida with concern. Yuto did the same. When they arrived at the classroom, he heard Midoriya's classmates talking. I had all these people talking to me on the way here. Same here. So many stares. It was embarrassing. Me too. All these grade schoolers told me I made a good effort. Good effort. They all chattered on as Midoriya and Ida got into their seats, while Yuto just stood beside Midoriya's desk, talking about trivial things. The bell rang, and Shota walked in not too long after. The previous chatter was immediately silent. Morning. Shota gruffly greets, while the rest of the class says, good morning. As well. Good to see your bandages off, Aizawa-sensei. Karo. Tsuyu says, a finger on her chin. The old lady's treatment was excessive. But never mind that. Today we've got hero informatics class. And a special one at that. Shota rubs his pinky below the eye without the scar. Everyone else in the room looks apprehensive. You'll be coming up with your hero names. The room erupted into cheers. Yeah. How awesome. Time to shine. Shota glared at them, silencing the class. But first. Concerning the pro draft picks I mentioned the other day. It's based on who the pros think will be ready to join the hero workforce after another 2 or 3 years of experience. So you could say that it's a way for them to show interest in your futures. But there's ample time for their interest to wane before you graduate. And any and all offers can be arbitrarily revoked. It happens quite often. Stupid adults and their whims. Mineta curses under his breath, slamming a fist on his desk while trembling. Yuto frowned a little at this, and Mineta must have noticed, because he stopped and smiled at him fondly. Yuto awkwardly smiled back. So if we're picked now, that just means there'll be higher hurdles in the years to come. Hagakure clarifies. Yes. Now, here are the complete draft pick numbers. A projector projects onto the board. Todoroki, insert long line here, 4123. Bakugo, insert another long line here, 3456. Tokoyami, insert short line here, 360. Ida, insert shorter line here, 301. Kaminari, insert another shorter line here, 272. Yaoyorozu, insert very short line here, 108. Kirishima, insert even more shorter line here, 68. Uraraka, insert a very thin line here, 20. Shiro, insert tiniest line here, 14. There's typically more of a spread. But our top 2 stole most of the spotlight. Gah! They're in a whole other league. Kaminari groans. These pros have no eyes for talent. Aoyama huffs. Didn't they get first and second backwards? Kirishima questions. Guess they were just scared of the guy who was literally chained to the winner's stand. Shiro says. What the heck are the pros doing getting intimidated? Bakugo yells angrily. Well done as always, Todoroki-kun. Yaoyorozu compliments. It's mostly just my father's influence. Todoroki replies. Whoa! Uraraka shouts, looking at her number of offers while she violently shakes Ida, making his head bob forward and back dramatically. Yes, yes. Is all Ida says. You're not up there. Told you, you scared them. Mineta says, shaking Midoriya, but much more gentler than Uraraka. Is Midoriya's response. I mean, of course they would be scared of a kid who literally broke his bones without hesitating. Yuto blinked. Why would I think that? That's so rude. With that settled. Whether you were picked or not, you will have a chance to work alongside the pros. It's true that you all have already experienced more than most, but seeing the pros in action and taking part yourselves will still be worthwhile training. That's where our hero names come in. Sato boisterously shouts. This is really getting fun. Uraraka excitedly exclaims. They're only tentative, but you still want to pick something appropriate. Or else you'll know true hell. Namiri-san. The name you pick now. Maybe what the world ends up calling you. That's happened to plenty of pros out there. Midnight Sensei. The class exclaims. While Shota talks to the class, Yuto smiles and quietly greets her. Ohayo, Namiri-san. Ohayo, Yuto. Then small white bards are passed around the class, and it seems there was a spare one, so they gave it to Yuto, who blinked confusedly. They had 15 minutes to decide on one. Yuto turned to Midoriya. Nah, Izuku, why did everyone decide to give me one? I'm not gonna be a hero. He asks. Well, if you do, then what would you name yourself? When the 15 minutes were over. Let's finish up. We can start with whoever's ready. Everyone hesitated. Except for one. Aoyama confidently stood up and walked to the front, sparkles trailing after him magically. Here I go. He holds up his board in a sharp motion. Shining hero, I cannot stop twinkling. He flamboyantly declares. It's a whole sentence. The rest of the class shrieks. It'll be easier to say if you take out the I and contract cannot into can't. Namuri says. I see, mademoiselle. Is it English or French? Pick one. The class mutters, while Yuto tilts his head. Sounds like Fontaine tongue. Wait, what? Yuto zoned out again, while the rest of the class declares their hero names. He only came back into focus when Midoriya tapped his arm with a worried expression, during Tokoyami's presentation. Yuto felt incredibly guilty, both for worrying Midoriya and not paying attention to everyone presenting their hero names. While he internally scolded himself for it, he assured Midoriya he was fine. Midoriya seemed to let the issue pass for now. Grape juice. Mineta said, holding up his board from behind the podium. He's too short to be seen, only the ball on his head were visible. It's Pops. It's Kitsch. Namuri says. Koda doesn't say anything, but his board says, petting hero, anima. Yes. The entire class exclaims. King explosion murder. Bakugo says with a scowl. No good. Try again. Namuri immediately says. This is what I came up with. Uravity. Uraraka says after Bakugo. How punny. Namuri says. This went smoother than expected. All that's left is Bakugo's revision, and Ida, and then Midoriya. So Ida stepped up, with a serious yet solemn expression, and set his board on the podium. It read, Tenya, in bold letters. You too, huh? Just your name. Someone in the class muttered. Yuto noticed Ida's expression, and he silently worries about him. Whatever happened to his brother must have really affected him. He also ignored the image of Niwa that pops up in his head. When it was Midoriya's turn, the class was surprised. Huh? You sure about that, Midoriya? Yeah. I always hated it. But then someone helped me see it in a new light. It took me by surprise, but it made me happy. This will be my hero name. Midoriya declares, with Deku on his board. Yuto smiles proudly at his friend. Later, Bakugo tries again. Lord Explosion Murder. No. Still no good. Bakugo grumbled and stormed off to his seat again. Everyone suddenly looked at Yuto, who was holding his blank board to his chest. He blinked at the sudden attention. What is it? He asks. Raiden-kun, if you were a hero student, then what would your hero name be? Mina asks him enthusiastically. Yuto blinked. A name. Before he could say anything, Namuri dragged him to the podium. Yuto blinked at her, and she winked. He just sighed. He quickly writes down a name, and he shows everyone. Kabukimono. Everyone smiled. The class has chosen their internships. And now they're at the train station, everyone ready to go. Yuto wasn't allowed to go with them, since he wasn't a student. But that didn't mean he couldn't go as just himself. But he decided he'd do that after a few days. He wanted to spend some time thinking. Yuto stood by Midoriya and Uraraka, and they noticed Ida walking away to his train's direction. Ida-kun. Midoriya calls. Ida turns to face them. If it ever gets to be too much and you need to talk, just say something. We're your friends. Yuto and Uraraka nod in agreement with worried faces. Ida smiled at them. Sure. And he turned away again. Nahida has been thinking. Lots of thinking. The traveler has found his sibling, but they haven't regained his powers yet. The twins had a discussion of whether they should stay after they do, especially since the Ether had made many friends here. Eventually, they decided to stay. Paimon was quite happy about this. Nahida was also happy they decided to stay. But she couldn't dwell on it any longer. Yuto is still top priority right now. She decided she'd go to the place where Yuto was last known to be, the machine. Nahida inspected it, and even went into her Minsel to check on its information. It wasn't hard to find, none of it was concealed or hidden. But the end was vague, to say the least. Irminsul only said that creator of the machine disappeared after he used himself as the first test subject. It didn't say what happened to him after. Nahida didn't know if it would work, and it's purely based off chance and luck. But, maybe, just maybe, it'll work. She went back to the machine, and she dreamed. Yuto didn't know why, but he felt a strange compelling feeling to go to Dagoba Beach, where he was found by Midoriya and Yagi. He didn't have much to do anyway, so he went. It was beautiful and clean, and there were occasional people and couples that were there too. Yuto sat down, with the waves liking at his shoes. He enjoyed the breeze that ruffled his hair, and blew onto his face. Others might think it's annoying, making their hair all messy, or having things blown into their face. But Yuto didn't mind. He loved the wind. He closed his eyes, and he dreamed. Once upon a time, a boy from a kingdom without a king dreamed to travel to another country. But the barriers between the countries were strong, and no one could get through them. There were rumors of an artifact of the greatest power that could go through, and if it powers a machine, the user of the machine could go anywhere he liked. So, he studied the art of machinery and magic, and took 20 years to create the machine that would aid him. He was thought of as a strange person, as he had refused to talk to anyone, too focused on his dream to socialize or make friends. His family didn't like him either, and he was deemed an outcast. But the man didn't care, and he used himself as a test subject for the first test run. He disappeared without a trace, the only proof of his existence being the machine. Everyone else didn't notice, thinking he had finally left the kingdom for good, and went to another kingdom instead. The man was never mentioned ever again. As for the machine, it was left to ruin for the rest of eternity. "Yudo?" someone called. The voice was childish, and seems to belong to a little girl. But it sounds very familiar. He blinked his eyes open and looked around. The sky above him was limitless and a beautiful deep blue, with clusters of stars glimmering and twinkling. The ones in the middle seem to form some kind of constellation, but he can't quite tell what constellation it is. It's his own constellation. The grass he was sitting on was soft, comfortable, and tall. Only his head is visible currently. But instead of being green, the grass was a dark purple, the same color of his hair. There were also small clusters of a lighter purple, like the highlights in his hair. Despite the impression that it was night, it wasn't dark at all, like it was day. The wind blew gently, like the breeze was welcoming him and caressing his face. There were occasional torii gates, and they seemed to be in good condition. But it was also kind of foggy and misty in certain areas. Yudo had an idea why, but he can't be sure. Yudo stood up, and he looked around for the person who called. When he saw her, he knew he saw her somewhere before. It was by that big tree, with pink leaves, wasn't it? She seemed to sag with relief. "Yudo, I've been looking for you for months," she says, voice dripping with emotion as she stepped towards him. He crouched down to her level, and she embraced him in a hug. He hugged back, a bit confused. Nahida. Boor. He remembers her name now. His mother figure. Could he forget? He didn't notice, but some of the fog dissipated. "Nahida?" She gasps softly, and she looks at Yudo with glistening eyes. "Yes, I'm Nahida. Do you remember?" She takes another look at Yudo, then her eyes droop a little with disappointment. "No, judging by your expression, you don't remember me fully." She clears her throat. "Yudo, how much do you remember?" Yudo blinked a little at the question. Nahida waited patiently. Yudo tried to find the words. I think I know you, but I also think I don't. You're very familiar, and I just can't place it. But there's also two other people like that too. Niwa. And a boy. And he shuddered at the end. Maybe not that. But I did see you before, by that tree. But I feel like I've known you before that. And when we were at the tree, I think you said something about me losing my memory? Nahida nods. Yes, it's true. We know each other, and you have lost your memories. But it seems to me that you're slowly regaining the most important ones, and that's great to hear. Nahida holds his hands. Niwa, and the boy, they were people that you loved and cared about deeply. They were both like your brothers, or maybe even a father figure and your child. But they've long since passed. Yudo took a moment to let her words sink in, and he nodded solemnly, trying to ignore the tears he's fighting back. He stayed silent for a small while, and Nahida also didn't say anything. More of the fog dissipated. I see. Then, how did I lose my memories? The memories I have now. They seem almost magical. Along with a kind of fruit that I think I've never seen before, lavender melons? To put it bluntly. Yudo, you are currently in another world. Yudo blinked. Could you maybe repeat that, please? Nahida's eyes softened. You are from a different world than the one you are currently in. The same world as mine, and where I am. I sent you to check on some missing scholars that went to research on a machine, which I recently found out is a machine that takes people to different worlds. She explains patiently. I hope the scholars at least landed in the same world as you. She adds as an afterthought. Yudo nodded in agreement. I hope so too. But I hope you don't mind if I ask you some questions. Ask away, Yudo. Oh, but before that, are you safe where you are? Yes, I've met nice people. That's relieving to hear. You can go ahead now. Who exactly are you? I know your name, but... She smiles. I'm the god of wisdom, the Dendro Archon, Lesser Lord Kusunali, or Boor. To my friends, I'm also Nahida. Yudo's eyes widened a bit. A god. That explains why you're in my dream. Then, do you know who my creator is? Yes, I do. Your creator's name is Beelzebul, also known as Ei. She is the Electro Archon, and the god of eternity, along with her twin sister, Makoto, also known as Baal. I assume you are aware that you are not human, then? Yudo silently had an internal conflict about basically being the son of a god. Yes, I know that I'm a puppet. What exactly is our relationship? I think you're like my mother figure. And where's Ei? Well, you would technically be my nephew. And I'm happy you think of me that way, Yudo. But I'm sure that once you recover your memories, you would probably be pretty embarrassed. She giggled. As for Ei, she's in Inazuma. You and I, before you went to another world, were in Sumeru. But you're probably wondering why she isn't with you. She took a deep breath and closed her eyes when Yudo nodded. Ei left you, in a domain in Inazuma. You thought of it as abandonment, and it technically is. Even though Ei said that she didn't wish to assert control over you, you were still bitter. And angry about it. You counted that as your first betrayal. She stayed silent for a moment, and then, drop. A teardrop landed on her hand. Nahida opened her eyes in concern. Yudo was crying. He wasn't sobbing, or making any sound. But he was still crying. It hurt Nahida to see him so sad, so she hugged him. Why? Why did she do it? He whispered after a while. When she saw you weeping in your dreams, she found out that you were too emotionally fragile. You, at first, thought that she left you because you were a failure. It was reasonable to think that, since you were the prototype puppet. They both hugged each other in silence. Then, this glowing thing I have. What is it? It's a vision. When someone's ambition is strong, the gods will award them a vision from one of the 7 elements in Teviat, our world. Your vision is one of Anemo, wind. In Teviat, there are 7 nations of the 7 elements. Mondstadt, the nation of wind, is also the nation of freedom. That golden feather though, it's from your mother? Freedom, huh? More and more fog cleared. I see. Yudo, where are you right now, in your world? I'm on a beach. How much time passed? Too much. It would be suspicious for a human to sleep this long unless they are in a peculiar condition. I cannot give your memories back yet, but now that we were able to make a connection, I should be able to visit your dreams every time we are both asleep. But if I don't contact you for a week, then please come back to where you are now. Yudo nodded in understanding. Okay, thank you, Nahida. He woke up to someone shaking him, and to Shota's worried eyes. He was still sitting up, and now Shota, Hizashi and Namiri were beside him, looking worried. They look a little more relieved when he looked at them. Yudo, are you okay? You've been gone for half the day. And we know that you're ahem, so sitting up while sleeping is probably possible for you, but it's been so long. Yudo felt incredibly guilty for making them worry. Sorry, maybe I was tired. I just came to feel the wind a little, I didn't mean to stay out so long. His voice lacked the sheepishness he usually had when apologizing. He sounded pretty depressed. Also, little listener, did you have a nightmare? Yudo blinked in surprise. Huh? You were crying. Yudo put a hand to his face, and felt that it was wet. Oh. The other 3 exchanged glances. Let's just go home, and talk about it, okay? Namiri says. Yudo nodded wordlessly and got up, his mind elsewhere. They sat down on the couch. Yudo? I'm fine. I just had a nightmare, that's all. You don't have to worry about me. He says with a smile, but it seems tired and a little strained. It's the 2nd day of the internships, right? I think I'll go visit Midoriya tomorrow. Shota noted the change of subject, but didn't comment. Yes, it's the 2nd day, but when you go, just remember to be careful and don't take up too much of Midoriya's time training, alright? Yudo nodded. He stood up and went to his room. I think I'll relax for the rest of the day. See you tomorrow? He locked the door. The other 3 exchanged glances, and left. Yudo spent the rest of the day staring at the feather and the vision. That night, the puppet didn't sleep. There's something bothering Yudo. You two also noticed, right? Namiri says after they arrived in the teacher lounge. All Might was also in the room on his computer, and he looked at them curiously but also with concern. Duh. The little listener looked so sad and tired. It can't just be a nightmare. Quiet, Hizashi, I'm trying to think. Sorry, Sho. What's this about young Raiden? The other 3 turned to him. All Might blinked. Shota sighed and dragged a hand down his face. The kid's bothered by something, and he seemed almost depressed. He went to the beach where you and Midoriya found him at, earlier today, and he was gone for a pretty long time. When we found him, he was sleeping while sitting up, crying. He said he was fine when we got back, but he's obviously not. Now he locked himself in his room doing who knows what. All Might put a hand under his chin. That's concerning. Shota scoffed, and Hisashi elbowed him. Did young Raiden say anything else? That he had a nightmare, that's all. But there's definitely more to it. You should have seen his face. It didn't suit him. When he smiled, he looked so tired. Hisashi said. All Might hummed, in thought. Well, I'm not the best with kids. He's not wrong. Shota muttered. But I think we should give him time. If he doesn't want to talk about it, then we shouldn't force it. We know that. We're teachers. We have an entire school of students. But why is it that when it comes to Yuto, we just don't know what to do? Namiri groaned. Maybe you three see him as your own child, and not as a student. Granted, he isn't a student, but still. They went into collective silence. I'm right, aren't I? Shut. The next afternoon, the problem child held onto the straps of his teal backpack. It had clothes and stuff. He stood in the train station, waiting for his ride to come, while Shota waited with him. Namiri and Hisashi were doing their own duties as heroes, and Shota was currently the only one without much to do. His patrols were at night anyway, so he could send the kid. The problem child seemed to be more like his usual self, but there were still traces of that sadness in his smile, and his cheerful words didn't quite reach his eyes. When the train arrived, he turned to him, waved with a smile. Shota waved back lazily, pretending to not notice how the smile seems a little strained. Shota sighed and pinched the bridge of his nose when the train with the kid left. He couldn't help but be worried about his son, the problem child. So they all basically talked it all out in advance. As long as Yuto doesn't get in the way, he can stay, and Gran Torino has already been informed of. Yuto being a puppet. Yuto arrived at the address that Midoriya gave him the other day at exactly 4:30 p.m. He knocked politely on the door to the rundown building. Seriously, it was all cracked and broken while the taller buildings beside it were in pristine condition. Ignoring that, there was a bit of shuffling on the inside, and a beaten-up and tired-looking Midoriya answered the door. Ah, Yuto. You came. Midoriya beamed. Yuto beamed right back. Yeah. Of course. Did you think I wouldn't? He didn't notice Midoriya's smile falter when he notices a small difference in Yuto's demeanor. An old, short man with a yellow cape groaned behind Midoriya. There's two of them. Yuto watched as Gran Torino basically beat up Midoriya for the next 30 minutes. Midoriya's back was against the wall, with his head on the floor and legs in the air. Yuto winced a few times during the process. Keep fighting against nothing but my own tactics, and you'll develop some bad habits. Gran Torino remarks. Forget habits. I'm barely used to this at all. Let's keep going. Was Midoriya's determined yell. Nah, that's enough. I have to agree, Izuku. Gran Torino grinned and put a hand under his chin. Time for Phase 2. The actual internship? Time for Phase 2. The actual internship? Huh? Already? Yep. Gear up, kiddo. Like I said, fighting only me'll leave you all prepared to deal with other types of opponents. This is supposed to give you work experience, after all. In this phase, you'll pit yourself against all different sorts. I get what you're saying. But I don't think my heart's quite ready for this. Midoriya shakily says, tapping his chest, where his heart is. Yuto's expression blanked. But what if hearts can be born from ashes? What a joke. It's just ashes. Nothing left but ashes. Yuto blinked when the taxi Gran Torino called came. For the rest of the ride, Yuto didn't say anything and tuned out the conversation the other two were having, instead reflecting on what Nahida said before, and how things were starting to make sense. He didn't notice Midoriya looking at Yuto with concern when he and Gran Torino stopped talking. They were on the bullet train now. Midoriya and Gran Torino sat together while Yuto sat in the seat behind them. Is it okay that we're getting in at night? Midoriya asked. Night's perfect. There are sure to be more incidents now. It'll be fun. I don't know about fun, but I hear you. There was the sound of something being taken out. On your phone again? I swear, kids these days. Midoriya didn't say anything. The train suddenly came to an abrupt stop, making everyone but Yuto lean forward. Passengers, please remain seated. We're making an emergency stop. Someone said on the speakers. Just after the announcement, someone crashed into the train just a few seats in front of them. Who is this guy? The man asks no one in particular. A hero? A civilian shouts. Yikes. Others shriek. Then, something that looked like a Nomu was seen. It was pale, with an exposed brain, and there were 4 eyes on the brain. Its arms and legs were also very long. Stay there, kids. Gran Torino shouts, immediately shooting off. Ha! Gran Torino. Gran Torino shot off, pushing the Nomu out as well, making another, smaller hole in the train. Midoriya and Yuto looked out from the hole. They saw an explosion in the distance. They're at Hosu, where Ida is. Everyone, please remain calm. Please return to your seats. An officer guy shouted. We need to stay calm and wait for heroes to. Sorry, but we gotta go. Midoriya yells, running out the train with Yuto following behind him, flying. You too. Get back here. It's too dangerous. Sorry, sir. But we really have to go. Yuto shouts behind him. They ran, more like Midoriya ran and Yuto hovering above, into a fleeing crowd going to their opposite direction. He and Midoriya ran into a battle with a hero yelling Ida's name, along with more Nomu. How could he run off at a time like this? The same hero who yelled Ida's name said. Another hero stood in front of them. Stand back and don't get in the way. We heroes will put a stop to this. Follow police instructions and get to safety. She said. Whoa. Sorry. Midoriya squeaked, scrambling backwards. He could hear Midoriya's heart thumping rapidly. How I wish I had a heart too. Midoriya turned, and Yuto followed, immediately taking flight. It doesn't matter what you say now. You're still the criminal who hurt my brother. Yuto heard Ida yell. Midoriya jumped on the walls, and landed a punch on the hero killer's face. Yuto hesitated, and instead landed beside Ida. Midoriya, Raiden. But why? Ida shouted in surprise. We're here to save you, Ida. It was on TV. How 60% of the hero killer's victims were discovered around blind corners in deserted areas. So we've been scouring the back alleys near the normal hero agency, close to the center of all the trouble. Looking for you. Can you move? Make for the main road and get some pros to come help us. Yuto tells Ida. I can't move. He cut me. That's likely his quirk. They were talking about that. So he needs to cut you to get it to work? While Midoriya was speaking, Yuto noticed another person with them in the alley. He looked like a hero. Midoriya, Raiden. Don't interfere. This has nothing to do with you. Ida grits out. Water. You saying? Midoriya asks, almost afraid to know the answer. Two friends show up and says. I'm here to save you. A good line for sure. Stain says, straightening his posture a little. But it's my duty to kill these two. And if we're forced to fight, then naturally. The weaker of us will be cold. So. What now? Stain gave them a glare that made Midoriya shudder with his legs trembling. Yuto only narrowed his eyes. Yuto watched as Midoriya sent a message on his phone, and pocketed it. No. Ida shrieked. I told you to run. This is none of your business. What's a hero supposed to do when you say crap like that? I've got a lot to say to you, but that'll have to come later. Because it's like All Might said. Giving help that's not asked for is what makes a true hero. Stain grinned. Todoroki had also arrived during the fight. Yuto was busy keeping Ida and the hero safe from the battle, also hesitant to hurt someone. The last time he used his no vision. Well, he'd dwell on that later. Right now, they were dragging a tied-up Stain out of the alley. Of course we'd find rope in a trash-filled alleyway. Todoroki remarks. Todoroki, please allow me to drag him. Ida says. Your arms are all messed up though. Sorry. I'm supposed to be a pro, but all I did was get in the way. The hero, native, apologized. Don't sweat it. It would have happened to anyone in a one-on-one against the hero killer and his quirk. He's so strong. Midoriya mumbles just loud enough for everyone to hear, from Yuto's back. Midoriya was exhausted and hurt, so Yuto was carrying him on his back. It made everyone else just stare at him dumbfounded. Even in a 3-on-1 fight, we just barely won because he screwed up. He probably got so mad that he forgot about the effect wearing off Midoriya. And with Ida's final recipro. He couldn't react in time to Midoriya's movements. Just then, Gran Torino appeared from a different alley. Ha! Wah! Why were you two here? He shouted. Gran Torino. I told you to stay in your seat. He tried kick Midoriya in the face, but Yuto ducked just in time and just enough so that the kick wouldn't connect. The old hero huffed, but didn't try anything else. Well, I don't know what happened here, but glad to see you're still alive. Gran Torino. I'm sorry. The hero from earlier that told them to stay back came too, from the same direction as Gran Torino. Is this the alley he mentioned? Huh? We got a backup request from Endeavor. But kids, they're badly hurt. Call an ambulance. Call an ambulance. But not for me. Hey, is that the hero killer? The heroes, their sidekicks, chattered amongst themselves. So he's Endeavor's still over there, fighting, then? Todoroki asks. Oh yeah, those Nomu siblings or whatever. Midoriya said, getting off Yuto's back. Yes. Those of us whose quirks had no effect on those villains came to help you guys. Behind them, Ida spoke up and bowed. Both of you. You were wounded because of me. I am so terribly sorry. I was blind. I lost sight of everything. Towards the end, he shed tears. Yuto put a hand on his shoulder reassuringly. No, I'm sorry too. I couldn't tell at all that you were so upset about it. And I'm supposed to be your friend. We don't blame you, Ida-kun. I understand that you wanted to avenge your brother. Niwa. Doctor. Get it together. You're class president, aren't you? Ida wiped his eyes. Yes. Get down. Gran Torino suddenly shouted. Huh? A winged Nomu was swooping towards them. A villain. How could Endeavor let it go? The Nomu's left eye socket was empty and bleeding, and one of its legs seemed to be injured. It grabbed Midoriya. Time seemed to slow down. Not for Yuto. Yuto launched into the air, and wrestled with the Nomu until it let Midoriya go. Midoriya dropped onto the road, but not hard enough to break anything. It would probably bruise though. Then the Nomu took Yuto in its claws and flew away. This time, it seemed intent on keeping him, and no matter how hard Yuto struggled, he couldn't break free. So he used his normal attack, but it only cut off the other, injured foot that wasn't holding Yuto. Yuto widened his eyes. He did that? Yuto could see Gran Torino trying to reach him with his quirk, but he was getting farther and farther away from the ground by the second. Then, Stain somehow reached Yuto, and stabbed the Nomu's brain. But Yuto was let go, and Stain reached out to grab him, but he was too late. Yuto was falling. He was going to hit the ground. He was going to crack and break. He lost the gnosis. Thud. YUTO. When he opened his eyes again, he was back in the place where he remembered Nahida. But Nahida wasn't here. He stood up, and he hadn't even realized he was laying on his back in the first place. He walked in no particular direction, and the grass began to disappear once he walked far enough. The sky and the stars, the wind and the torii gates, they all faded into a white void. Yuto kept walking anyway, and he wasn't sure why. At a certain point, the sky turned a light purple. The clouds were a sight to behold, and it looked like the sun was rising, but it wasn't moving. He was in a field of dark purple flowers. In the middle of it, he found someone who looked exactly like him. But the clothes were different. The purple veil. The white robes. The Kabukimono turned to face him with an expression of curiosity and innocence. The Kabukimono didn't say anything, so Yuto didn't either. The Kabukimono only smiled and gestured for him to sit down beside him in the field of flowers. Yuto did so, and they gazed at the clouds in silence. The Kabukimono made some flower crowns. The flowers he picked immediately grew back, he absent-mindedly noticed, offering one to him. Then, they would continue looking at the clouds, or the rising sun, that stays in place eternally. There was no breeze, but the atmosphere was calming. His foggy memories with Niwa and the boy were flashing in his mind, but he didn't feel sad. More like he was nostalgic and happy he has these memories. Memories of Nahida and him were also there, but they were more foggy and blurry. Either way, he liked it here. At one point, the Kabukimono spoke. You know, everyone's worried about you. Yuto looked at him. The Kabukimono wasn't looking back, his gaze still on the sun. Yuto looked away. I don't think I'm ready yet. The Kabukimono only nodded in response. They stayed there a little longer. YUTO. Raiden had fallen from the Nomu with a resounding thud. Izuku immediately went over, and when the dust cleared, he found that Raiden's eyes were half-lidded, and empty and hollow and lifeless. He didn't like seeing that on Raiden's face. It didn't belong there. The road was also a little indented, and there were cracks on Raiden's face. And his limbs, Izuku realized. He immediately cradled Raiden in his arms gently. Then Stain slowly stood up, and Izuku held Yuto's head closer to his chest protectively. Both this sham-filled society and the criminals who wield their power in the name of petty mischief are targets of my purge. All for the sake of a better society. Stain said, his voice hoarse and cracking. He then proceeded to swipe his dagger at the Nomu's brain. He saved the kid. No, idiot. The boy's a hostage. This is an unrepentant murderer we're talking about. Enough, already. Assume battle positions. The sidekick said. Why were you all bunched up together? Endeavor's loud voice boomed. He appeared from the same alley Gran Torino did. One of them should have headed your way. He pointed, he must be talking about the Nomu. You're already finished? One of the sidekicks exclaimed. More or less. I had to get a little rough. Wait. Is that? Izuku watched as Stain peeled off his mask. Endeavor. He heard him mutter with venom. Hero killer. Endeavor prepared to attack, not caring, or not noticing Izuku and Raiden. Todoroki, wait! Gran Torino shouted. The hero killer threw his mask away, and turned to Endeavor, eyes unfocused, scowling and drooling. He looks like he's insane. You fake, he said. That look made everyone shake and shiver. The aura suddenly became heavy, and it weighed down on everyone but the hero killer. If I don't fix it. If someone isn't stained with blood. Even Endeavor leaned back. If I don't reclaim my hero status. Stain stomped forward once. Come. Just try me. You fakes. The only one allowed to kill me is All Might, a true hero. One of the sidekicks fell over. Izuku held Raiden a little tighter. Then, Stain went silent and unmoving. This guy, he's out cold. Todoroki fell over too. Ida was on his knees. Gran Torino was standing with his mouth open. They learned later that one of the hero killer's broken ribs had punctured a lung. He hadn't managed to lick anyone's blood. But even so, there, at that moment, the hero killer was prepared to stand against them all. After a night at Hosu General Hospital, the 3 students were sitting on their respective hospital beds, along with Yuto on the last, 4th bed, still unconscious. Looking back now, what we did was incredible. Izuku said. Yeah. Todoroki agreed. Ida remained silent. And after that last-ditch effort, I'd say, it's a miracle we're still alive. And with my leg. If he'd wanted to kill me, he easily could've. Yeah. He definitely let us live. Todoroki turned his head to Ida. But you. Even with him coming at you with all that bloodlust. You still stood up to him. Impressive. I came to save you but ended up needing your help. Sorry. Not at all. It's not like that. They went silent for a while. Izuku looked at Raiden with a worried gaze. He had been acting weird recently. Spacing out, and even more recently, his smile seemed strained. And he cut off one of Nomu's legs. He didn't know Yuto had that kind of power. Now, he was just waiting for Ida to ask. Actually, Izuku was just surprised no one really talked about Raiden. How he didn't shiver in the cold. Or how he didn't sweat when it was hot. And how Todoroki any of them didn't talk about how he could fly. About Raiden-kun. Ida started. There it is. His skin was cracked. Did you see it? Todoroki glanced at Izuku silently, also asking the same question with his eyes. Just at that moment, Aizawa, Present Mike, and Midnight came in, with civilian clothing. Present Mike and Midnight immediately rushed to Raiden's side, while Aizawa looked at his students, with an expression telling them they'd talk later. Then he joined his colleagues by Raiden's bed. Midnight was holding one of Raiden's hands with another hand over her mouth. She looked like she was going to cry, while Present Mike was chewing his lip in worry. Aizawa was looking at Raiden with a grim expression, like he was afraid that Raiden would never wake up. Just like a cloudy-haired boy whose life was cut short. Thankfully, they had closed Raiden's eyes so it looked like he was sleeping. But the cracks made it hard. At least the cracks seemed to be healing. Somehow. Izuku didn't know how Raiden's body worked. But after they had a closer look at Raiden, some of his joints had been damaged too. Especially his back. And the worst part is, they didn't know how to help him. Then the door slid open again. Oh, all the little wounded warriors are awake. Well, other than that one. Gran Torino said. Behind him was someone with the head of a dog, wearing a suit. The man was big. Ida's hero mentor was also here too. Gran Torino. Manuel-san. Saying that they had a simple talk would be an understatement. Aizawa's glare made Izuku want to hide. At some point, they both laid on their backs, staring at the sky and the clouds. Do you, Miss Niwa? Yuto asked tentatively. Yes, I do. Yuto blinked slowly. What? What was he like? The Kabukimono looked at him. I think you know already. He said, with a soft smile. How revolting. Someone else said, but it was with their voice. The two sat up and looked behind them. Scaramouche. The Harbinger stood behind them, arms crossed, the flowers behind him wilted and turned to ash, and the sky behind him also darkened. The moon slowly rose behind him. The moon was blood-red. It was darkness to light. It was the balladeer to the Kabukimono. The balladier's side also felt staticky, like there was electro in the air. It smelled of ozone, and it wafted off feelings of grief and anger, completely different to the Kabukimono's side, warm and nostalgic. They both got to their feet. Scaramouche looked at Yuto with a discerning eye. Stop hesitating. It'll kill someone one day. You have a vision, use it. He scoffed. He looked very annoyed. Then he gave a side eye. You're not supposed to be here. That Kenryon man will come soon. You've overstayed. He said. Kenryon man? Yuto asked anyway. The balladeer scowled. If you really need me to explain it for you, he's. What in the world is happening here? They turned to see the man with star-shaped eyes arrived. Unlike everyone so far, the scenery around him doesn't change. The balladeer scowled harder. You again. Didn't your father teach you that it's rude to enter the headspace of another? He sneered. I have no father. Only a creator. Was the almost robotic response. Same thing. Please stop, this is pointless. The Kabukimono cuts in. He looks at the man with a wary expression. Fjalsvan, I understand your ideals, but we would rather we go back home. This is your home now. The man Fjalsvan stated. No, it isn't. I know we have a new family now, one that I'm afraid that, he paused, shaking his head. The current me must redeem himself from the sins we've committed. And, there are families waiting for those scholars to come home to them, too. You're, like us, I understand that. But, we shouldn't keep other people from their loved ones. Yudo watched the interaction with confusion, blinking. Foolish puppet. Your lifetime was full of pain, you have a second chance to be happy. We were, and we are. Meeting Boer, despite the circumstances, I'm truly grateful we did. We were happy with her, even if we pretend we aren't. And now? I've met new people, just like, but we belong elsewhere, and it's not in this world. Fjalsvan sighed and looked irritated. Why don't you understand? It is simple. Very simple. Perhaps puppets are just too narrow-minded and idiotic to think for themselves. And what makes you different? Unlike you, we were given free will, or so SHE said. You, on the other hand, you were programmed with only one thought, were you not? Balladeer smirked. Fjalsvan stayed silent, then sighed and turned on his heel. Speaking with any of you more than I should will slowly make me as idiotic as you all. But that one must leave, do not give him any more memories. Let him be happy. And with that, he faded away, as he was walking. The Kabukimono put a hand on his shoulder with an expression that said, we'll be able to talk about that later. So Yudo nodded. Then the Kabukimono held his hand gently, and slowly led him somewhere. They left the field of flowers and into the blank void, but wherever the Kabukimono stepped, a flower bloomed immediately after. Hey, Kabukimono. Yes? How come the scenery changes when one of you walks somewhere else, but it doesn't work for me? Am I not truly one of you? It's only because you don't stay here that long. It works for me and the balladeer because we have been here for the longest, is all. But I think you will be getting a different one, since you're different from the Wanderer, and I think you will still be different even after you regain all your memories, our memories. What will I do when I get my memories? Will I really be that different? When that time comes, I only hope that you'll have someone to help you. Someone like Niwa, who will understand you and accept you no matter who or what you are. Yudo didn't know how to answer that. They returned to the purple grassy field, and a torii gate nearby glowed once, and the inside of the gate lit up with a light blue portal. It swirled and glimmered, and it was mesmerizing. The Kabukimono nodded to him, and let go of his hand. Then he turned away, and walked back, retracing his steps, but not stepping on the flowers. When the Kabukimono left, it was as if the wind was saying goodbye, sending a final, gentle breeze in his direction. Yudo stepped into the portal.
Okay, sadly the chapter is over, and if you enjoyed the video just leave a like, and subscribe with post notification, so when the next chapter is ready, you will be notified. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye.